everyone, good evening. It is Tuesday night, it is bronze, this is ALR. We are here for the Spanish Grand Prix, round 2 of season 4 of ALR here in bronze. I don't think bronze raced here last year did they? But let's take a look at the benchmark, shall we, from the season before here in Spain then, which I think was actually it was Velocity who won the Grand Prix the season before, didn't he, in season 2? It was Nunda who got pole position there in a very wet, I think it was a dry session which turned to wet, didn't it, towards the end now. And the qualifying time was a 1:17 at 6:20. That is the only qualifying session that we could, oh, there was also one in season 1, wasn't there? Of course, the other qualifying session was actually a 17:709, which was set by Mason Steele. I think he only took part in a couple of races in the end, didn't he? Made still did, and of course, New Potato got his first ever Grand Prix win in ALR in the first ever season around here. So yeah, 2 races that we've had here in the past in ALR Bronze, and I'm expecting a cracking 3rd Grand Prix as well. No one's out on circuit at the moment, so quickly let me quickly get the old championship done then, because yesterday was an absolute abomination, was there really? It took me so long to get through it all. It was a shambles, to say at least. Crystal Maze said has got a full qualifying ban. Of course, that is, I think, the one and only parish notice. I got to remember that was carried over from last season, of course, which I think we failed to mention, unfortunately, in the first race then. But of course, that's just the way it is, isn't it? But that shouldn't be too much of a problem, should it? Crystal Maze, who had a good old scrap didn't last time. But let's take a look at the drivers and the constructors, shall we? Whilst Joseph is out on circuit at the moment now, and and away he goes then. At the moment then, we've got Ayrton leads the World Championship. Of course, this is the first time in his ALR career that he's leading a championship. Of course, his second ever Grand Prix win in ALR, his first ever Grand Prix win in bronze on his return as well. Ayrton is currently top of the table there, with Crystal Maze in second position. 3rd position was Vintage, brilliant driver from Vintage in the end. He did get his podium in the end, did he? But I think he did deserve it, didn't he? Not so unfortunate for Vintage. Theo in 5th position, 6th is Swan Shanks with Joseph 7th, 8th is Chappie, 9th is Bitter. And those only 9 drivers scored that, didn't they? So reserve scored last week, didn't they? McLaren lead the constructors, 14 points in front of Mercedes in 2nd position. Williams are 2 points away from the Mercedes team. Then we've got Red Bull in 4th position, Ferrari 5th, AlphaTauri 6th, 7th Aston Martin, and Alfa Romeo in 8th position. Alpine and the Haas team are the only 2 that have yet to score yet then, have yet to score yet then. But I think that so far in every single silver and gold, I think that every team has scored so far. So let's see if that will carry on the tradition here tonight. And Joseph is starting off his lap now. Good stuff indeed then. And let me quickly go through the comments as well, shall we? We've got a new commenter, so welcome A Mustard then. Class, can't wait then. Good evening, I hope you're enjoying the stream as so far so good, and I'd like to hear your comments as well, Mustard as well, and of course, as I'm sure that I'd like to hear your opinions as well, and your thoughts on real F1 as well as ALR, and that is from everyone who's watching us tonight then. Of course, where we want to talk about Dan Ticktum and his and him being dropped from the Williams development program then, because he's a very controversial character, hasn't he, over the years, Dan Ticktum is, and unfortunately he would note is, well, I don't think he was in contention with Williams drive anyway, but he certainly isn't anymore, is he? Ayrton said, hello everyone, good evening Ayrton. Of course, Ayrton won the Grand Prix last time out in Bahrain, didn't he? He's got a bit of a different challenge there, hasn't he? Joseph has gone wide, he's invalidated his time, unfortunately. Here comes a TJ Hale. Artie Wee is off the circuit already, and he's had a big smash there. Of course, that's the Jonathan Cox corner, isn't it, where he had a big smash in his 50th Grand Prix, and Artie Wee, my goodness me, he is quick, isn't he, Artie Wee? But unfortunately, he does struggle to get to the end of sessions, and that is a big blow for Artie Wee. And TJ Hale then on his debut has just gone fast. And Echo, and who is also driving there tonight as well. The 2 reserves then out straight from the get-go. Echo in the Aston Martin, good stuff indeed. That who is moves fast. And Chappie has gone second fastest. 3rd position is TJ Hale then in the McLaren. Lovely stuff indeed there for TJ Hale. Then as we've got the second McLaren of Ayrton, who's just come back into the pits. He didn't have a very good qualifying session to open his account last week, did he? Text to speech then is up in second fast, about a 10th away from Echo, who is currently at the moment in time is the quickest of the drivers out there. So he is is the benchmark time. So here comes Camera Racer, who is just going very wide there, going into turn 1, and I think he's the most experienced driver on the field here tonight. Then I think this is 31st Grand Prix in a bronze. I would have to check that in a minute. Then once I finished the opening battle, I say that it is his 31st Grand Prix, but I tell a lie, he's not the most experienced driver. The most experienced driver in bronze at the moment is actually Ayrton with 30. It's his 32nd Grand Prix starter tonight, and Ayrton. It sounds like good 17 that Camera Racer in the second part of the lap as well. Kakro Goku, hello Sean, good evening everyone, and Young Tommy, evening all, and Young Tommy of course is leading the World Championship for silver. Well, I say he, Young Tommy is actually at the moment, it's a dead heat between the two AlphaTauri drivers, says that there are Dylan and Young Tommy both on 33 points, and what a start for the AlphaTauri team. They're running away with it at the moment. No, wait, Camera Racer there just coming into the final part of the lap as well. We got Noonan say, did you see Young Tommy yesterday? He was on fire. He wasn't he, Young Tommy? He made a mistake, didn't he, on the race? And how he what an incredible recovery drive indeed there for Young Tommy. Camera Racer is gone at second fast and behind Echo at the moment, who is currently the fastest driver at this moment in time. And what about Mings at Dumcave, who possibly could have and should have had a much better result than what he did last week? Then we had action all the way up and down the field, didn't we? Goodness gracious me, then. It was a very entertaining Bahrain Grand Prix. I think we had 6 safety cars in the end, didn't we? Goodness me. It was anarchy, and I think that's the most safety cars we've ever had in an ALR Grand Prix. And of course, we went from a lot of safety cars on Sunday to absolutely no safety cars last night, and it caught a couple of drivers out, didn't it? FIFA Beefy, 1 lap to go, and unfortunately he was basically reenacting the heartbreaking scene of Mika Hakkinen in 2001 in the Spanish Grand Prix, where he was 1 lap away from winning his first Grand Prix of that season. Unfortunately, Mika Hakkinen I think it was a clutch failure. I can't remember now. I should have Googled it in between the days, but there we go. Failed to prepare to fail. Mings has gone out fastest so in the Alfa Romeo. Good stuff indeed there. He is the fastest so far, and I think we've just seen Ross G going at 5th fastest. Good stuff indeed there. But yeah, he just recreated that heartbreaking moment, didn't he? FIFA Beef did of Mick Hakkinen get his first Grand Prix win in 2001. That season there, of course, he later went on to retire from Formula 1. He was meant to take a sabbatical, wasn't he, Mick Hakkinen? But unfortunately, he never returned to F1, did he? He did have some guest appearances in test sessions, didn't he? With I think most notably the test of the 2006 McLaren, didn't he? Back in the pre-season, which of course I love the 2006 McLaren. I think that was the first time they ever got the livery, didn't they? Absolutely beautifully done. From the McLaren team. Just was invalidated his second time, and here comes Irvine as well. Irvine in the Red Bull then, as he is just coming into it's just coming into me now. Goodness me, Irvine is, and this is David tonight. Irvine, he missed out last week, didn't he? But he's back in action tonight, and he is definitely going to be one of the favourites I foresee to potentially be a big player in this year's World Championship. Lovely helmet design, by the way, from Irvine. Fantastic stuff. He's validated time now, so that's not a lovely time so far. Swan Shanks is just starting up, and Joseph almost getting stuck behind the Red Bull driver as well. Then as Joseph is on his way down, I think Swan Shanks is just behind him. Let me go back to the comments then. We have got Gunnar, evening there. Everyone, good luck to bronze, by the way. Noon, the championship leader, by the way, in terms of, I think that was referencing to Young Tommy. Liam D saying good luck, bronze, saying Tommy for gold next season, and Noonda, I'm blusher, mate, and all lovely stuff indeed. Well, me and Tommy is joined to the top there from this one. That is definitely rightfully so then, and they're also oh goodness me, and they're also top of the Constructors Championship as well. The AlphaTauri team in silver start off absolutely blitzingly well, haven't they? And my gosh, then is Joseph Fairhan. A couple of weeks he said he got promoted from Cobalt to bronze this season, but on a bit of a couple of difficult laps then to open his campaign here tonight in Spain, unfortunately there. So he's going to have another bite of the cherry as well. Jamie Enright then is who was quite quick last week, wasn't he? But unfortunately didn't get the time, didn't get the points he wanted or needed. Swan Shanks is the slowest of the time runners so far in the AlphaTauri. We've got Williams out there as well of Alibi, who is currently in 16th position there. Vintage is out on a lap as well, as is Irvine, then hopefully going for a second bite of share as well. Irvine looking very strong strong in the build up to this, in the build up to the practice sessions here, isn't he? Let's see if he can now where it counts, and can he replicate that performance? He can indeed. He's almost 9/10 of a second in front of Mings, who is the second fastest car here tonight at the moment in time. Then so end right there, right from the get-go, is quick. Very quick indeed. That we have just got a car there who's just getting on the way down. That was the AlphaTauri, as we got Vintage then in the second part of the lap. As we're just taking a look down there, Jamie Emmerich saying, get those likes up then. You mad bro is not racing then. Yeah, that's such a shame, isn't it? Because I would love to see what the COBALT champion could do in bronze this season then. But I didn't say, wait, Cryptic is racing. He is indeed then. I hadn't even talked about it, David Toss. Like, goodness gracious me then. Serious Rush say, come on, Camaro lad then. Vintage has got on them fast. He's the second slowest of the timed runners so far. Gurman saying, and let's go bronze, go be interesting race. Indeed it is, isn't it? Looking forward to this one. Bronze says, oh goodness me, that's Baz who's got off fed. As of course, Alpine had a bit of a heartbreaking night last night, didn't they? TK had a great recovery drive back to third position though, didn't he? Did make a mistake there, which cost him his first Grand Prix win. However, I think that we've got to stress as Baz, as good as me, we just didn't come back on the circuit and he's in the wall. That's 3 cars out there. We've got Crystal Maze who is serving his sentence out of a full qualifying ban from last season, and we have also lost Ardy, who's crashed heavily, and Bazu, we just didn't come back on the circuit. It's out of qualifying as well. This qualifying session here at the Spanish Grand Prix for all 3 leagues so far have been quite a brutal one, to say the very least. Irvine now clumping those curves out of the final turn. What can the Red Bull driver can do then? I'm very interested to see where he stacks up then to the rest of the field. So far he is 5th fastest, albeit he has done 4 laps on those soft compound tyres, and everyone else is currently in the pits at the moment. Goodness me. So Red Bull have got the track all to themselves as well. Vintage there, who will be coming back into the garage in just a few moments. And so whilst we got a bit of a lull there, and just like to say that TJ Jamie is very happy that he's come out there, come back in the pits. One and done there, very much a Sebastian Vettel kind of specialist there. Remember in 2011, I think Vettel did the Chinese Grand Prix, didn't he? I think he had issues, didn't he, in the Red Bull, where he can only do 1 run in each qualifying session there. Both Red Bulls had a bit of a nightmare qualifying, if I remember rightly, because I think Webber was down in 18th position, wasn't he? Was that in 2012? Webber was, I can't remember. Your brain there is just not as young as it used to be, is it? Emerson saying, good luck, Ayrton. Hope the Ferrari boys get some good points as well tonight then. Well, currently as it stands, none of the Ferraris have actually gone out to set an aggressive set a time lap just yet, and that's an aggressive entry and exit there for TJ Hale. Making his debut tonight, TJ Hale. There's some good stuff indeed there for the McLaren driver. Alibi, who is a camera racer, is retired from the session, but he said himself. Alibi also making his first appearance here tonight as well. Good stuff indeed there for Alibi in the Alpine car as well then. As Dylan saying, the first victim in turn 8, and unfortunately, yeah, that is such a shame. And Bradfield saying could have done the whole race without pitting last night. The mediums are wicked around here then. Yeah, I must say that I got to say, fantastic from, I think it was from Bradfield and Dylan, was it? They spent the majority of the race, like well over 20 laps on the medium tyres. So that is really opened the strategy call, I think, for tonight, hasn't it? Because I think that really, I was expecting the hard to medium tyre set, but maybe we're going after medium to soft tyres, and that's what I love, really, the fact that I have no idea about the strategy calls, and it really makes it very interesting. Then Hale currently 11th fast at the moment, and this qualifying 1 session we're aiming to lose the 5 slowest drivers. Well, we've got 3 drivers who cannot post a time because they're already out of qualifying, unfortunately. 2 have gone into the hedge already, and the 3rd one, of course, is Crystal Mazehead, who is serving his qualifying ban a race later. But oh goodness me, Hale was a long way off the circuit there, but the time is still ticking away then, so good stuff indeed then. Hale using a very aggressive line here, and I'm loving it. Fantastic stuff indeed there for Hale, great stuff. But yeah, we've got 3 drivers who haven't set the time just yet then, but I think that the other drivers perhaps it might be best to just put a banker in them. But having said that, we've only got 3 minutes to go in this session there. Roscoe's in the pits, and I gotta say he's cool as a cucumber out there. Roscoe, he did have a problem in Bahrain Bahrain, didn't he? But let's see if let's see if he doesn't get that same issue again, does he? Swanshank's 3/10 of a second down. Cryptic Galaboy just coming over the crest of the hill there. Theo, of course, in the floor, he had a cracking start, didn't he? Theo did, but unfortunately, got caught up in a couple of shenanigans, didn't he, in Bahrain? But let's see what he can do as he comes across the line. And Theo goes 8 fastest in the floor. The former Grand Prix winner in ALR bronze and in 8th position. And good stuff indeed that we got Cryptic Galaboy then, who is just coming into the final sector on this lap. Lovely helmet fun there for Cryptic Galaboy. Fantastic stuff indeed that. Roscoe's retired from the session as well then, so he's decided not to come out at all. And he might have a qualified by one. Maybe I should have read the parish notes of that, perhaps. Naughty me indeed, then I need a slap on the wrist. Bro Grillatana, evening fellow for me and Tess. That's Todd, then former ALR Grand Prix driver and of course commentator as well. He commentated alongside me and Alex Knowlesy back in season 1. Goodness me, a very long time ago, wasn't it? Good gracious me, how time flies when you're having fun then. We got the second Aston Martin. Joseph has had a bit of a messy start to his qualifying session, hasn't he? As he's had a couple of laps he's had to abandon, and he's also had a couple of spins as well. But let's see what he can do. And he puts the time on the board. He is quick when he's on circuit there, Joseph is there. And goodness me, that's very quick indeed there. 1 lap. 8th position, good stuff indeed then. So 8th position then for Joseph. Is that going to be enough to get him through to qualifying too? Well, we're going to find out. And yellow flags is fluttering in the final sector as Hale is just coming back into the pits then as he is just finished off his time there. So it looks like we've almost got our drivers out of qualifying then. Baz, Roscoe, Ardiwi and Crystal Mates are already out of qualifying. Swanshanks has abandoned his time. And oh goodness me, he almost did a Maldonado there and crashed into the pit wall. There's a bit of the barrier that sticks out there. There's a bit of a wall that sticks out, isn't there? And my gosh, Sarah, Swanshanks is retired from the session there. So Swanshanks is going to be very, very precarious. We've got Debris in the pit lane somehow. As a Cryptic Galaboy is coming out on circuit now. Oh goodness gracious me, there's a Swanshanks. I'm wondering if, I don't know what's happened to Swanshanks, but that is a big blow indeed. And that is such a shame then. So he might be out of qualified. However, Alibi has, just I say that, we have lost Echo. Echo, who is comfortably through, is in the Armco. He is out of the qualifying session. He's got off in the Cox corner there. And yes, look at that, he's on the outside of the circuit there. He's beats in the gravel. He is out of qualifying. Echo, who was comfortably through, I think he was third fast at that moment in time, while he's out of qualifying. And wow, I think we've got our drivers already out of qualifying. Goodness me, look, Ross G then also spinning around as well. The Williams there, a lack of grip out there. It's not as hot as it was last night. Goodness me, you've got to say, I was feeling the heat, and I think the drivers were as well. But it's a bit overcast, isn't it? Not as we had rain, didn't we, in the opening qualifying session in Gold on Sunday. But tonight then it's not as hot and it's not as cool as well. So maybe these temperatures. Oh, is a Chappie getting very squirrely there as he accelerates out at turn 10 there. Goodness me, Chappie's rear end there shaking from left to right there. Cryptic Galaboy is about to start his lap just in front now. So can Cryptic Galaboy get through? All he needs to do is set a time, and he should be through. He needs to get time quicker than a 17.7 as Chappie out of the final turn, and he goes 7th fast. It's good time indeed there for Chappie. We're just watching Cryptic Galaboy as he goes wow wide, then going into turn 1. Cryptic does in the Alpine car. And Serge Rush said, at least it wasn't me who ruined Beefy's chances for a win for it. Said yes, of course, Serge Mushroom and FIFA came to blows at the hairpin of the Chinese Grand Prix. I think was it last season? It was last season, wasn't it? But unfortunately, unfortunately, had those. Unfortunately, had the fuel issues, didn't he? And of course, it sounds like that the fuel was a problem there for a couple of drivers last night. Same with Wilson as well. He commented on the YouTube stream, didn't he? After the race, Cryptic Galaboy, and that's another driver into the wall, and that's Cryptic Galaboy out of qualifying. All he needs to do is set a time, but we have lost a humongous amount of drivers in this first qualifying session. I think there's only 14 taken part in qualifying too, but my word then. And we've only got 12 in the session at the moment then, who is still Sal's retired from the session. As goodness me, Hale there is going to be in the wall as well. That might have damaged the car. He was wild, wasn't he there? And Hale is into the barrier at quite a hefty rate there as well. But he needs to get the car going then, because if you if you stay on the track for longer than a couple of seconds, you will get disqualified, and that's not what Hale wants, because then that means if you get disqualified, you start from the back of the field. But Hale having a nightmare trying to get out of the gravel here, isn't he? Goodness me. But yeah, he looked a bit wild going into turn 9 anyway, and he was yeah, not well. He's now on the escape road here. Is trying to finish off his lap there. That's the end of qualifying. That's the end of qualifying done then. And we have lost 6 drivers in this qualifying session, not 5. We'll go through those lists in just a few moments. And Ross G. Last time we said he was spinning this corner here, but he is through into qualifying too. Good 17th there for Ross G. Then. And of course we had that Jamie M right then, who's the only driver into the 15s one, so that's a pretty impressive time right from the get-go for Jamie. Then looking strong, isn't he, on this on this game, isn't he? Especially he won the last 2 Grand Prix of season at number 3. So he was already on. Looking strong, was the end right? To be honest, unfortunately, it did go too well in Bahrain a week ago. But my goodness me, he's setting the benchmark in the end of this qualifying 1 session. But that was a brutal qualifying 1 session for several drivers. But there it is, Jamie M. Wright, 8 tenths of a second in front of the Super Sub Mings, who is second at the moment now. Camera Racer in third position. The Alfa Romeo drivers looking strong after the qualifying 1. Then let's just take a look to see who is unfortunately bit the dust in this opening qualifying round. Then Critic, sorry, he's now Alibi, isn't he? Well, Alibi unfortunately has no alibi because he's in the wall and he's out of qualifying. Crystal May's out of qualifying as well. Artie William went off at the same place as Alibi. Roscoe out of qualifying. Baz out of qualifying. And Echo out of qualifying as well. He's going to be kicking himself, Echo is, because he was comfortably through on that time, wasn't he? But again, then that pesky turn at 9 is really causing drivers a lot of issues in this qualifying session. As we're just quickly going through the comments as well. Young Tommy, AlphaTauri for the win, and Becca saying, ooh, hey, up the Ayrton there as well. Is Ayrton looking strong in 5th position? Is the usual manual gears for the first time. A league race. Echo is there, and Echo is looking strong as well in that 3rd position there, but unfortunately he's gone off in a big way, unfortunately for Echo there. So he is out of qualifying. He'll be starting 15th on the grid then for the race coming up later on tonight then. As Serious Mercy saying that the manual gears is faster and a very good stuff indeed there. I must say, I absolutely applaud anyone doing manual gears. My word, there you must have a very big brain time, because I struggle to even turn the car and go forward at the same time. But yeah, it's very difficult to do, isn't it? So hats off to everyone using manual gears. Then talking about manual gears, and Marshmallow on saying, yeah, I had my first manual race last night, and I won't, and you won't regret it. Like, it's much better than a good 17th there. Of course, Maldonado was using manual gears, I think. Into qualifying session the last season, wasn't she? And I think the Dutch Grand Prix was one race where she definitely was, and she was very quick in qualifying, wasn't she? Unfortunately, I think she came to blows with her teammate now, wasn't it? Did she come to blows with New Potato then? Oh goodness me, that would be a bit frosty. As TJ Hale then, I gotta say, he's not shy with using the extremities of the racetrack, is he? Goodness gracious me, then. I think it must have been on WRC before he came into this session tonight. Then I gotta say, it's very exciting to watch there for TJ Hale this, but I'm not sure how quick it is there or how safe it is there to get through this qualifying session, but we'll find out then. Oh goodness me, and right there is Amna Kabush there, but I think he was just getting out of the way there because he just wants to get a clean bill of racetrack, doesn't he? So good stuff indeed there for him, right? As I just quickly go through, Enright saying Mings is a very brave for oh goodness me, his Hales is off the track again now. Having a couple of issues there at the moment now. Safely through, top 7 are from Wilson as well. I really wish I read these comments earlier on there, because I would have looked quite smart indeed then. As right there, I was very happy with his fast lap there. He was saying 8 tenths of a second. Very impressive stuff indeed then. But anyway, just quickly go down. And how long did the medium tyres last in Spain? Just asking for a friend there from Dylan. I'm sure that they didn't Dylan's last for like 25 odd laps, and then I think Bradfield's lasted for in the high 20s as well. I only commentated last night and I can't even remember what's going on then. Vintage said, even though, as Sarah Spencer said, evening Vintage, happy birthday for yesterday. I forgot my bad then. Oh goodness me, was it a birthday for Vintage? Oh, well, I absolutely apologise there, Vintage. When you're out on track, I will sing happy birthday to you. But yeah, well, happy birthday, Vintage, and I hope that you get a good present tonight then, and hopefully get that podium that you richly deserved last week there for Vintage there. As of course, there's a penalty rescinded there for Crystal Bates. Crystal Bates had a very difficult race there, but very good stuff there to get himself back into it. Vintage and a bit of a difficult start to his race there, but a great recovery drive for Vintage. Equaling his best, well, better than his best performance of his season of his career in ALR with 4th position last week. That was fantastic, wasn't it, to say the very least. As they're just going through the going through the final corner there for TJ Hale, and he goes fast there, 17.6 to set us on our way. Here comes Text to Speech, making his full debut in ALR tonight, and he goes fastest there on the soft tyres, and good benchmark indeed. Enright then is on the soft tyres, Enright is there, and he's gone wide there, and that's invalidated his time then to start us off, to start Enright off on his journey in this qualifying session indeed then, and I've just smashed myself in the face again. So Joseph also getting a invalidation on his first opening time run there. So just now watching Shatters in the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri, as we've already mentioned in silver, is flying high, aren't they? Let's see if they can fly high after this event here in Spain here tonight. And out of the final turn then for Shatters, DRS right on the money. He goes third fast at the moment. He is the slowest of the time runner so far, but I think that's a good benchmark on the medium tyres, and some good stuff indeed. Javi's invalidated as well. Goodness me, there's a lot of tracking, but there's a lot of invalidations there to open driver's accounts. Camera Racer is kept in on the island there. He's on the soft tyre as well. Camera Racer and over the line there he comes out. He's done a 15.8 Camera, said a 10th of a second slower than Text to Speech said. Camera Racer is said. So opening his account then nicely. We've got Hale going for a second time running as well, and that's a better time then for Hale, than 3/10 of a second quicker, and I think he's got the car fueled up for a bit, hasn't he? Hale has, just to give himself a couple of laps to get himself going then. So good stuff. We've got Joseph Fair on his second time run as well. I've just read from Enright, JV Enright there, that it's a wet race then. Oh golly gosh then. Well, that is going to get very important indeed then. So I'm wondering then, is anyone going to be, is that a wet race throughout the race, or is that going to be a dry start and then a wet race? Well, I'll have to read the comments, don't I, really, as I'm too far behind. Ross G then, oh goodness me, he's gone wide there. Chappie is also invalidated, it's Thomas Wadden, so we're going to keep it on those drivers. A bit later on, Theo, who is abandoning his turn by looks like, so it's it looks like he's got a problem with the DRS, and it keeps opening and closing there. Swan Shan said it's just starting off his lap, but and as we're just, I'm trying to catch up there. I'll check to see if it was a wet race now, but I'm only guessing because it's dark. Oh, goodness me, then. I thought that Jamie Enright said that it was a wet race then. Wilson saying Alibi doing well then. Unfortunately, he didn't get very far, did he? Echo saying he shouldn't have risked it then, so that is such a shame then. Dylan saying join the club then, because Dylan also had the issue, didn't he, last night as well, which is, a lot of these qualifying session around here has been very precarious, hasn't it, here in the Spanish Grand Prix? Very interesting. He said Theo just coming across the line, and he set a time then of a 38, and I expect him to go a bit quicker than that then on his next time run then. Irvine's also invalidated as well. There's a lot of cars out there that just seems to be invalidating their time runs here, which could cost them later on in the event then. Ross G then, who I think had a cracking race, didn't he, in the silver last week. Brilliant stuff indeed. Wilson's, as I was saying, as for me, yes, I underfeel the car. Pace auto tires was good. Couldn't believe they did 31 laps. So it's great pace, and the safety car came out, but race was over without that. 31 laps on the hard tyres, and I started to question myself if Wilson came in the pits without me knowing then. Goodness me, I'm wondering if someone might throw on the hard tyres. If they get damage on the opening lap, then they might just be able to throw on hard tyres and go to the end of the race there. And that was incredible pace, wasn't it? I was surprised of how long the tyres were lasting the essay. Absolutely amazing stuff indeed. I've got to say, I love that. And that's what I love about new games, because the new F1 game, is because sometimes the drivers don't know what the best strategy is. And of course, I don't think they knew what the best strategy was last night either. It was cracking, wasn't it, to say the very least. Ross G across the line, he goes third faster, the quickest on the medium tyre so far. And good way to start that off. Theo coming into the pits now then. Ayrton out on a lap then, going down the back straight. Last week's Grand Prix winner, I've just thrown my phone miles. But hopefully I'll be able to find out, as Emmerich just said, it is a dry race then. as yes, as they've just as they're talking about the fuel. The fuel was quite a major talking point at the end of the race then. Vintage is saying then it's a dry race, 17% chance of a wet race then. But of course, in full one turns, it's probably not going to be a wet race. But there we go. I ran out of fuel on the last corner. Bradfield did as well, and it's Sirius saying, "Come on, racer!" And of course, 7% chance for TJ Hills, saying 7% chance of race as well. As we've got Curly Red, the Grand Prix winner from last night. Then, of course, his first ever Grand Prix win as well for Curly, and that was his first race. I forgot to mention that was his first race in silver this season. His first race on F1 2021 as well. So that is a big statement of intent, to say the very least, isn't it? For Curly then, and a very impressive stuff indeed then so from a Curly there. Of course, the Williams team were looking strong in qualifying, didn't they? But unfortunately, race trim hasn't been too good, has it? New Potato has had two first lap incidents in the first two races for New Potato. He has only done 2 turns. He had issues off the start in Bahrain, and then he had the of course, he had the issue into turn 2. Of course, where he had that incident as well. Enright is now starting another lap then. So on the in the Haas car, he invalidated his first time, and look at how wide he goes to turn 1. Let's go on board with the man who is very quick in qualifying, 8/10 of a second in front. The next fastest car, that is domination from very much from the beginning of the hybrid era of the Mercedes. The Mercedes wasn't back in 2014 and 2015 there. So Enright is looking very strong in this Haas car at the moment, isn't he? Of course, as we already mentioned, then he's a 2-time Grand Prix winner. Enright is that he's been on the pole, but he's been on pole once, which is last event. Then we're going for 2 pole positions in a row. Then second pole position in a row, I should say. Then of course, he'll be loving that. Then he'll have a 100% record. Then having said that, I don't think this season, we haven't had a single pole sitter win the Grand Prix yet in 6 races. And goodness me, the pole position this season in ALR for gold, silver, bronze, or cobalt. It's just a poison chalice at the moment, isn't it? Goodness gracious me. Sirius was saying I was so confused last night. I stopped 4 times. Sirius Mushroom. I think Mushroom's had a very good opening. I think an opening stint, I believe it was, and he was up as high as 4th, but unfortunately he did get caught up in some issues there, and now I think it was just downhill from then on in. Enright goes fast, and just a whisker in front of text to speech there, but that is on the medium tires. Enright has done that time on. Joseph has done 5 laps on the. Joseph has done 5 laps on those medium tires as well, and so I think that Joseph might want to come in the pits and find a new set of boots, perhaps depending on, because I think it's going to be a dry race by the sounds of it. Swan Shanks is just behind his teammate, 4/10 of a second behind his teammate, but he's in 10th position there in terms of where he is on the road. Chappie is going for a second time around as well. He's 2/10 second up, but that's 3 laps on those tires as well. Ayrton's on a brand new pair of boots then. And Chappie's off the circuit there. He spun off then, and that's at turn 4. So he's just doing a 3-point turn, and that Williams spinning out the rear tires head, and go for it again. So we're going to stick with Ayrton now. Then let's go on board with Ayrton wearing the orange helmet then for the Marshall, unfortunately, who lost his life on the weekend of the Brands Hatch on Saturday evening. Then of course, remember the Marshalls are volunteers, aren't they? The Marshals are volunteers, aren't they? Of course, so I've got to say they're one of the heroes of a Grand Prix race, aren't they? In all categories. So yeah, hats off to really are real racing fans, aren't they? The Marshals are, and really, well, that is. It can be quite dangerous, wasn't it? Of course, every motorsport ticket that you buy, you should say on it, or I remember it used to be anyway, that of course it should say racing, of course, motorsport is dangerous, it's dangerous indeed then. But Camera Racer is out of qualifying, but he's out of qualifying too anyway, but he should be safe through then. And currently wanted us to go on board then, and we have gone on board with Ayrton, and he has gone fourth fastest in the McLaren, and he is the 2nd fastest driver on the medium tires as well, Ayrton. He's had amazing pace tonight, hasn't he? Golly gosh. Good stuff indeed then for Ayrton. Theo is a second and a half up in the second split time. There's a McLaren of TJ Hill in the background on the soft tyres as well. On board once again then with the Ferrari driver. Yellow flag in sector 2. It's one of the Alpha Taris then is now coming into the pit lane as well. Theo then is in the Ferrari and he is now into the Mickey Mouse chicane. We've got TJ Hale then, who seems to be very energetic on the old steering wheel, doesn't he? He's off the track there. TJ Hales. He's quick, but can he keep that consistency going? And otherwise, it's going to be a long race there, isn't it, for the McLaren driver? Theo has just gone at 8 fastest then in the Ferrari. Good stuff indeed there. Is that safely through? We're going to find out now. And is Hale coming into the pits? He is coming in the pits because I think he's cut the final couple of chicanes. And of course, when you do that, you also invalidate your next lap as well, there, because you get a slingshot, don't you? You get a slingshot, and that's why he's invalidated his time, unfortunately. As he is now just coming to the pits as well. Not happy with that lap, but can go faster there for Enright there. But I think in this one, all that Enright should be concerned about is clearing the bar for qualifying 2. And at the moment there, he might be the fastest for qualifying 2 and for qualifying 1 as well. Good stuff indeed then. Really good job indeed then. So absolutely great stuff. But Curly Red is saying that Jamie will get pole. I've seen his TT times then. Yes, of course there. Of course the time trial times there. Whether of course, is that relevant time trial? I hear a couple of drivers in the old Discord saying that time trial times are maybe not always relevant, and then there's other drivers. But I think that in terms of qualifying trim, maybe as Ming's retired from the session, but maybe in qualifying trim it might be quite relevant there. But I gotta say, Enright has been really putting the pace, has really been putting the practice on. He is very quick in time trial, and he's very quick in this qualifying session as well. He's quick in Bahrain last week as well, was in the qualifying session. Now, can he have a clean race then? That is the question. Here is the birthday boy. It is Vintage Said. A happy birthday to Vintage Said. I hope you've had a lovely day yesterday then, and of course I hope you get some good I hope you get a good result here tonight. Vintage has already improved his performance from last season. He had a cracking Bahrain Grand Prix, and he is looking very much more one with the car this time around, isn't he, in car 43. So really good stuff indeed then, as he is now then he is now then accelerated away, going into the final couple of chicanes as well. And let's see then what Vintage could do then. Look at that then. He's gone a bit too acute as in the final part of Mickey Mouse chicane then. But as he might have lost a bit of time there, a bit of momentum as well. But he's in 10th fast. That's good enough to get himself through into qualifying at 3 at the moment. And Shadows is starting his lap as well. So Ross G is out on a lap, and so is Swan Shanks as well. But we're just watching Shadows in the AlphaTauri at the moment there. Let's see what he could do then. So Shadow's Head is currently on the outside looking in. He's got 5.3 of a second on the soft compound tyres as well, before accelerating away into the middle part of the lap as well, into turn 7 and 8 as well. Then you've got to really squeeze your bum cheeks going through there, don't you? Because I got to say, the car gets very floaty on the rear. Shadows, goodness me there. I got to say, as soon as anyone has an initial that is exactly the same as our teammate or anything like that, I just get completely confused on that. But with Shadows on Swanshanks. Swanshanks is behind us, 4 laps on the medium tyres. Swanshanks is according to that graphic there. Whether that is right or not, I do not know. And goodness gracious me, thank you very much for everyone that's watching. 32 viewers I can see at the moment there as I look down before I look back up, because I'll probably miss something. Out of the final turn there comes a Shadows Head across the line, 8 fastest, and that's a cracking time indeed then. Brilliant stuff, Ben, from Shadows Head. What about Ross G then in the Williams then out of the final turn as well, and he comes across the line. That's a cracking time for Ross G. However, he's done 4 laps on those medium tyres. Vintage that is out of qualifying by the looks, unfortunately. And what about Swanshanks? That is not a very good second sector, and that is it then. Oh no, there's oh gosh, there, he's gone into the wall. So Swanshanks unfortunately out of the Grand Prix. Sorry, out of qualifying I should say. And Vintage there, 11th position there, but half a second away from getting through to qualifying 3. However, he does get to choose what tyres he wants to start racing, so that might not be too bad there for Vintage there. However, what might be a problem then is we've got Joseph on 5-lap old medium tyres there for the Aston Martin driver. Goodness me, now that is going to be all kinds of wear. I know that we was talking about tyre wear earlier, where it seems to be non-existent on the medium and the hard compound tyres. Soft tyres really fell away quite quickly last night, didn't they? Only 4 or 5 laps, didn't they? But I've got to say, that's quite a lot of lappage there on the old medium tyres there. And Jamie Enright there, fastest for the second qualifying session in a row then. And can he get through for free? Because this is the one where it really counts, and as we're now going for the shootout for pole position then for the second round of the Spanish Grand Prix here in ALR Bronze then. But before we do count down to the top 10, let's quickly take a look at who's in 14th and 211. Shall we? It is Chappie in 14th position there. 30th position is Swanshank said. TJ Hale in 12th position there. Doing good on his debut, isn't he? Goodness me. Hopefully he can hopefully he can stay on the track in the race itself, but he is a very quick cookie, isn't he? TJ Hill is an 11th position, is Vintage as well, as we said, and half a second away, but Vintage can choose whatever tires he wants to start the race on. Three drivers are on the soft tires, and text-to-speech, Camera Racer, and of course, and Shatters as well, all on soft tires. Everyone else is on the medium compound tire to start the Grand Prix, which is coming up in about 20 minutes' time. Oh, goodness me! I had a bit of indigestion there. Oh, good gosh! Let me quickly just catch up with the comments, shall we then? As Enright saying then that Mings is sandbagging, and Becca saying he does look quick there, doesn't he? Enright does. He does indeed, doesn't he? Great stuff indeed then. Dylan saying that Vintage looks a lot quicker than the last game, to be honest. Yeah, Vintage looks more at one with the car, don't he, I feel then. And when you're at one with the car, you just feel that so much better, doesn't it? That's what Martin Brundle used to say. I think Martin... Oh, goodness me, it's Mings there has done a bunny hop out of the garage. So great stuff indeed then. I think the BMX is now part of the Olympics, isn't it? Oh, goodness me. Mings there may have missed his corner there. Enright is the first car out on the circuit at the moment. He has been fast in qualifying 1 and 2. Can he now get the third time's a charm? Can he get the full hog here and get pole position then for the third time of his second time in his airline career? Enright saying that race pace isn't great though, but his qualifying pace is dead. So that's a very good point there, isn't it? Remember, I like to. This is one of the most famous drivers, I think, that in terms of cracking qualifying, but not very good race pace. And that is Jarno Trulli, isn't it? Remember the driver who was in Formula 1 there from 97 to 2011, I think it was, wasn't he? I think he got ousted out on the eve of the 2012 Australian Grand Prix, didn't he? Very rudely. But Jarno Trulli did. I think that wasn't it Petrov that took a seat right at the very close to the start of the season, unfortunately. But whatever the case may be, Trulli was fantastic in qualifying, wasn't he? He was an absolute demon on that one lap, but in race 2 just seemed to go missing, didn't he? He only won one Grand Prix there, and a driver that was very much destined for greatness, unfortunately, just didn't seem to materialise today. I say with Giancarlo Fisichella, really, both Italian drivers, who both drivers have similar careers, and they really is that they both of them looked very quick. Both of them debuted within a season from each other, both in the minorities as well. Fisichella in the minority in '96, with Trulli in the minority in '97. Those are the days with the minority, wasn't it? Oh golly gosh, I do love the mid-90s of F1. It's absolutely brilliant. And of course, there's such a shame then, really, because as much as the mid-90s, you've seen a lot of teams like the Simtech, the 40 Fords, the Pacific cars, there's a couple of other cars as well. The very infamous Andrea Moda team as well. Goodness me. But what it did bring was drivers who may not have been able to get a chance in Formula 1 like today. There's a lot of drivers that probably should be in a seat right now, but deserve to be in that one. So unfortunately, there's only 20 seats, isn't there, in the whole world of Formula 1. Well, we're here in ALR. We've got 80 seats, haven't we, available then, which is cracking stuff indeed then, course. And we've got 80 very talented, competitive, and very strong drivers, haven't we, on the roster. Absolutely lovely stuff indeed. And here's one of them now then. Here's one of them that is really ripping up the time book in bronze at the moment. They're absolutely dominating in this qualifying session, comes up to the line then, and that is a 15.2 so far for Enright. A good time then to start us off then, start our journey off then. Camera Racer has gone second fastest, 4/10 of a second away from Enright, and Mings has gone third fastest, 8/10 of a second back at the moment. Good stuff indeed. Ross G is in a fourth position, does 16.2. He's a so to the time runner so far. Theo's about to start his lap. Then we've got Shatters, who is finishing his lap. Oh gosh, he almost went to the barrier there, and good to see that would have been two pit entry incidents there in the 2 qualifying sessions here in the Spanish Grand Prix. Ayrton out of the final turn, and Ayrton going third fastest then. A much better qualifying performance for Ayrton there tonight. Text to speech goes third fastest, 3/10 of a second in front of Ayrton at the moment there. We've got Irvine who's just starting his lap as well. We'll keep an eye on Irvine then as his lap progresses as well. I keep saying this as well, it's really annoying me. Joseph into the Mickey Mouse chicane then, and look at this, very gingerly taken out there. I don't think he's at full capacity there. Out of the final turn there for Joseph Bell, and up to the line, and he's done a 16.5 there for Joseph. I think that's a bit more on the table for Joseph, but we'll find out. Enright there is 2 seconds down then on his second flying lap then, so I don't think he's going for his second flying lap then, so it's not flying lap at all. So if anyone makes heads or tails up, then that's fantastic. Theo at the moment, and lovely over the shoulder shot here from Theo, just above the cockpit as well then. And of course Theo was a bit unlucky in Bahrain, wasn't he? But I think overall he had a... Oh, golly gosh, as Irvine has gone off the circuit there, but he's still okay. Theo's gone 7 faster, just to have a look there, but Irvine there is having a bit of an issue there in the Red Bull, and he's gone off in turn 8 there. Of course, I've renamed that corner the fourth turn, as he had a couple of excursions across there as well. But Irvine now damaged the car. That is his first run that has very much been compromised. Ross has gone at full fastest now in the Williams car, looking strong again. Ross is, isn't he? Very good 17th there. Theo then, who's just come back into the pits as well then. So then, as it stands, then we have got Jamie Enright, who's currently fast at the moment. He is up for official pole position by 4/10 of a second, then from Camera Racer in second position. Text Speech in third position. Ross G is in fourth. Ayrton and Mings in fifth and sixth position. Seventh position is Theo with Joseph in eighth position. What about Shatters then? So go to keep an eye on Shatters now. In the first intermediate split time set at 21.8 there as he's going for another bite of cherry. Enright there is coming out of the pits. Oh no, yeah, coming out of the pits there is is he? I thought he was at the pits. It looks like he's he's just parked on the pit straight there at the moment. And right, of course, he's on provisional pole at the moment. He needs to get moving though, doesn't he? Because he doesn't want to risk disqualification in this race there. But he's just parked in the middle of the straight for some reason there. So I'm not sure what's going on with him, right? But hopefully it's not a technical gremlin then for the man who is currently fast at the moment. As he does a lovely burnout then, and away he goes then. So it looks okay then for him, right? I wonder then if he was just wonder if he exited the pit lane too early then. But that was a bit dangerous. Oh, Shatters! And look at that! Thank goodness me, he looks like he's wrestling an octopus there in that car. My gosh, there. As Shatters there really hacksawing away there. He looked like a lumberjack, didn't he? Oh, my word. As he's carrying on his lap, those soft tires look to be overheating a bit at the rear there. Out of the final turn then, and Shatters there cuts across the line. He's 17.6 there for Shatters. Unfortunately, the end lap there looked very messy indeed then. So that's... and so I think that Shadows has also got a bit more time in the older piggy bank, haven't they? So a great 17 then. As just now got a bit of a lull here at the moment. Enright is just about is not starting us up just yet, and it just takes it on board now. Then with Camera Racer, who's currently second fastest at the moment. Camera Racer is starting his 31st Grand Prix, drive tonight. Then he's had 3 podiums in his career. Camera Racer has, and he's never had a pole position though, believe it or not, in his ALR bronze career, which I find absolutely astounding. That don't feel right to me, does it? But can he do? I was going to say, can he put that right now? But he can't put it right because he's facing the wrong way. And the back end is overtook the front end. And turn 2, there's a lot of place around here where you can really spin it. Camera Racer's been disqualified for driving the wrong way. He was trying to get himself back on the track, and unfortunately, he's going to be down in 10th position now, and that's going to help the power unit either. And Camera Racer, and that is so unfortunate there. And he was just trying to get himself back on the track there in the safest way possible. Oh, but Camera Racer, that is absolute heartbreak, isn't it, there, from a sporting context there for Camera Racer. He is going to be 10th on the grid then, and that's not where he wants to be, is it? As Irvine saying, don't expect much. Vintage said, you got this made. Irvine at the moment has had a spin, hasn't he? A precarious spin in his first lap, then, so it's going to be all or nothing now for Irvine. Remember, he finished second in the World Championship in COBALT last season. I think didn't he have the most wins in COBALT, if I remember correctly? I think he did, didn't he? But of course, that is coming off memory then, so that could be absolute hogwash. Now here comes Irvine then. He's done a 15.2 at the moment. He is the quickest out there so far. He is looking very quick around here as well. Look at how much speed he's taking through those chicanes. That is fantastic. That car is looking very good indeed then. Over the line. That was fit out. You felt it physically, you felt it virtually, and you felt it visibly as well. And I think I've made two of those 3 words. But he's on pole position at 15.0 then. That is a mega time for Enright. And is that going to be beaten? Because he's over half a second in front of the field now, and I think that might be game, set and match there for Enright here tonight in qualifying anyway, and the Haas driver may be very pleased with that one. That's a cracking time to say the least, with 3 minutes to go on this qualifying session there. I wonder if he's now going to get out the old newspaper there and put his feet up then, whilst the other drivers see if they can get within a whisker of that time then, or am I counting my chickens before they hatch then? Maybe Enright might need to come to the pits there, throw on a new set of boots then, just to defend that position then, or can he go quicker? That might be a challenge which Enright would love to see if he can lower the benchmark. Brilliant stuff indeed then. So it's worth saying that Cameron just showed us his drift skills and gets disqualified. Tut. Unfortunately, I think the FIA didn't like that. Then it was the wrong category. This is not Formula Drift. This is at Formula One here in ALR. Unfortunately, though, I do feel that Cameron Racer is going to be feeling very hard done by, isn't he? But of course, you've got to. If you make a mistake, you have to really sort yourself out quite pronto, don't you? Otherwise, you'll get a disqualification, which can be quite harsh sometimes. It can be harsh sometimes, especially when you're trying to get back on the track. Luckily in ALR, we do have ghosting on it, if I'm not very much mistaken. Then I should really read the rules, really, shouldn't I? Of course, I read the rules. I know every rule in ALR. Anyway, it's Ross in third position. Well, at the moment, then, I'm in my turn to start qualifying. I'm going to give it to text-to-speech. I haven't spoke much about speech just yet. Then I'm sure there's a pun in there somewhere, isn't there? But I'm going to have to root around for it later on in the race, I reckon. But text-to-speech, I haven't seen much of him. But my word, then, on his his debut in ALR, as Ross G is shown with the warm up in those tires there. That just so the cloud cover around here is. The cloud cover around rear is really affecting the track conditions and how cool the track is, and it's probably struggling with the tire temperature as well, perhaps. But Texas Speech has not come back out, unfortunately. But what a magical qualifying session! He is my star at qualifying. Fantastic stuff there from Texas Speech. Absolutely mega stuff there for the debutant here tonight, then, who is second on the grid. But Ross G in a very good, impressive third position as well. Anyway, here comes Joseph, and Joseph may be a bit concerned about his race tire, but that is something to be concerned about later on. He needs to be concerned about what he's going to do on his qualifying run, with just 45 seconds to go before the checker flag is fluttering then. And as I just now going on board then with Joseph there, 10th second up in the first intermediate split time. Joseph is then as he runs the car slightly wide then before coming down then into turn 6 in the Aston Martin then, before getting on the power then and building up to the gears then as he goes up to 7th gear then, as he drops down for 3 gears, I should say, then going on the curve then. That is very nicely done then for Joseph, now coming over the crest of the hill into turn 9 and into a lift bend. Not a hint at all then for Joseph then. Oh, I like the tank of fuel. No fuel at all. They're on fumes here on fresh set of tyres as well. Joseph is a 10th of a second up in the second split time. He lost a lot of time now in this final sector there, and I wonder if his soft tyres overheats at the rear end. Whilst Ross had the opposite problem there, didn't he, in earlier on in this qualifying session, where he had to warm him up in the second sector. And then now then, as he comes into the final chicane as well, for Joseph accelerates away. He is now done. He's done all that he can do. He has to will the car to the line. And where's the line? He is full fastest. He felt that time was a good time. Brilliant stuff indeed then. Great stuff there from Joseph, and very much hats off to him indeed. Ross is about less than 10th of a second up in the second split time as well before out of the final turn then, and let's see what he can do then over the grid, over the line as well. Then Ross G goes, he stays at full fast and improved by a 10th of a second. Unfortunately, it was a bit too close there, wasn't it? Time is up in this qualifying session. This time is flown by. Shadow stays in at 9th position then. Ayrton there is currently on the 3rd row of the grid then. What can the race winner do? He goes up, he stays on the 3rd row of the grid, but it's in front of Joseph then, and that's I think he'll be very happy at that time. Here comes Theo coming over the line, and Theo goes into 3rd fastest. That's a cracking time there for Theo, and Mings is looking quick as well. And Mings is, I think that was 2nd on the grid, wasn't it? I think it was, if I'm not very much mistaken. And unfortunately, I ain't going to be able to find out at this moment in time until he comes down until we get the final classification. And he was on the 3rd row of the grid there. Irvine's also jumped up in the 2nd row as well. Onto the front row of the grid. Unbeknownst to be a cracking final time now for Irvine whilst I was waffling away. But it is Enright on pole position then for the second time of his second time of the season and the second time of his career as well. Hats off there to Enright. Brilliant stuff indeed then. He is going to start the Spanish Grand Prix from pole position. He was fast in qualifying 1, qualifying 2 and qualifying 3, so very much a clean sweep there for Enright, but Irvine is second there. That's a cracking recovery there for Irvine to get within 0.2 of a second as well. Really impressive stuff indeed there for the Red Bull driver. As Hale saying, now honestly I do need help to improve with race pace there, boys. Of course Hale. I would say that there's a lot of drivers. Enright, of course, seems like he has definitely nailed his setups as well. We've also got a couple of drivers in gold that are pretty good with the Oda setup tinkering as well. Serious Mushroom is a very good setup with the car as well. One person you would definitely not want to ask is me, for example, because I take setups off other people really because I don't know how to set up the car. And another person you shouldn't ask is a guy called Sir Dave in COBALT. He takes my setups, and they're usually not very good. Right then, as we're now going into qualify. No, we're going into the race itself. And goodness me, I want more qualifying. That was fantastic, wasn't it? But let's go, shall we then, for the start of the Grand Prix itself. So, serious question. Imagine if you interview text to speak after the race. It sounds like it sounds like a speak and spell toy. Then, there's the pun that he was looking for from Hale. Yes, that's indeed. I got to say, Serious Mushroom is definitely my pun machine. Then he's just a fun guy, isn't he? I'm going to build that until the cows come home. I don't know where the cows have gone. 33 laps then around the Spanish Grand Prix as we get going for the formation lap as well. Let's go for the grid drive from front to back then. Three drivers are on the soft tire. That is a text to speech set. That is Shadows and that is Camera Racer. My star qualifying still goes to text to speech set. Yes, he was on the front row for more often than not. Then he finished fifth in the end. That's a fantastic time then. Brilliant stuff indeed. As Vince saying, get in lad then for Irvine. Great time indeed for Irvine. Gunnar saying, go on Joseph. Of course, Joseph, a part of the Aston Martin team. And of course, there's the joint constructors to think about in ALR. Of course, it was a brainchild of Dan Murphy there. Of course, where we stole it from someone else, I do not know. But all I care about is that Dan suggests it, and it's definitely in there, like swimwear. Good stuff. We've got Enright asking, what was the silver pole position then? I'm sure the silver pole position, was it a 15-1 there, or was it a 14-9? I can't remember. I can't remember at all. Then I really need to. Find. I really should write these down, really, shouldn't I? Because I get asked that literally every week, don't I? About what's pole position between gold, silver, bronze, and cobalt. There. I need a notepad or something, don't I? Really? Maybe I might have to buy a pen or something. Anyway, but we all know that the pen is. Dylan saying good luck everyone. We have also got Enright saying good luck, or as Serge saying that is new, laugh out loud. Yes, yes it is. I need to go for the grid, goodness me. 33 laps. Jamie Enright on pole position for the second time in his career. Irvine is alongside him on row one. This is David Knight in bronze, looking strong, isn't he? He was looking all at sea at qualifying, but my goodness me, when he was there, he was definitely there. Mings in third position, Theo in a strong fourth there. Ross, G and Texas Speech, so the two reserve drivers have come to blows. Ayrton in seventh position there. 8th position is Joseph. 9th position is Shadows. 10th position is Camera Racer. Got disqualified from qualifying, unfortunately. Vintage, happy birthday to Vintage in 11th position there. It was his birthday yesterday, but happy birthday, Vintage. TJ Hale in 12th position there. Swanshank's in 13th. Chappie is in 14th. Echo had a crash there in qualifying one. Otherwise, he would have been the sharp end of the field. Baz in 16th position. Roscoe in 17th. Artie Wee is 18th. Crystal Mays is in 19th. 20th is Alabon, the only driver on the hard tires. Let's see how that goes then. 20 drivers on the grid then for the start of the Grand Prix, and it's a 14.9 there. Goodness me, I'm happy with that then. I thought it was a 14.9. I said a 15.1, didn't I? A 15.1, oh, a 14.9 then. So, yep, I'm going to give myself a sound like that. Revs are on then, and here we go for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. It's lights out, and let's go, shall we? And here we go then. And Enright had the perfect start. The Ferrari of Theo's got off the circuit there, and look at Mings there. Mings is alongside Enright going into turn one, and Mings is throwing it down the inside there, and Enright's got the inside to turn two, as he's still got the lead. Mings has, he has got the lead, he has got it. There's an Alfa Romeo that went off in the background now. Theo's Camaro, and he's dropped down a few positions there, and Mings takes the lead of the Grand Prix here in Spain. He's had an absolutely monstrous start, and Irvine's dropped down one position, and so has Irvine as well. Takes the speech, Ross, and Volk moved at one position so far. That's a beautiful start there for Mings, and a cracking start here in the Spanish Grand Prix. Mings leads second, Enright. Camera Racer right at the back of the field. We've also lost Chappie, dropping down 5 positions, and Swan Shanks as well. Theo's dropped down that position. We're not sure where on the field he just went straight on and takes the speed. Oh no! And he's got off it. He's on the wrong part of the circuit there as he tries to come back on the circuit there as well. As Vince there just saying, giving him a wider berth then going down then into turn 10 as well. We've got 3 cars here. And Echo is up in the, oh my gosh, Echo's up in the 6th position. He's had a cracking start there. Flying up 6 positions there. Not as good as Artie Williams, up 7 positions. Golly gosh there. Oh my word there. And I thought he was going to go into the side there. And who's that? That's Aldo. Hale's off the circuit there. Hale's off the circuit. He was trying to to keep the car under control. As Ming says, the fast up the race. Irvine's off the circuit, and Irvine's off the circuit. There's a Williams car that was in trouble as well. And yes, Irvine is out of the Grand Prix. Into the pits comes Roscoe, and Irvine, what a shame then on the opening lap then. And it's a virtual safety car for Irvine. What a qualifying, but unfortunately he had a his race has not even lasted a lap yet. Into the pits comes Roscoe. He's damaged the Ferrari nose cone, and he is just getting himself sorted out. Luckily, there's a virtual safety car for Roscoe, but I think it would have rather a safety car. Artie Wee is up 11 positions, up 9 positions is Echo, up 9 positions is Crystal Maze. Alibi's up 7 positions. Good grief, guys! My goodness me, you got 32 laps to go. Oh my word, there. They must think it's a sprint race, and my gosh, I love it. Absolutely fantastic 17 then. So what can Enright do then? Enright mentioned in the comments that he was concerned about his race pace. Well, Mings has got the jump on him going into turn 1 then. Ayrton is currently in third position about there, and Ayrton now the wild veteran of ALR Gold now, isn't he? Fantastic stuff from Ayrton. I think he's the most experienced driver in Gold history with 32 Grand Prix starts to his name. Now, good stuff for Ayrton. And yes, so he is now in third position as we've got Ross G, who's dropped right down the order in the background. This virtual safety car, there's not meant to be any overtakes there, but there is an overtake as Ross G is dropped right to the back of the field then, and that is unfortunate. Dylan's asked, how is that not a safety car? To be honest, that looked a smack bang safety car, didn't it, really? Because there was cars all over the circuit. We're back green now here in Barcelona then. So Mings is in the Grand Prix, and we've got to say this super sub is absolutely fantastic. He was making waves last week, he's making some more waves this week. He flies past me, and Mings leads. No DRS yet. This I say that now is DRS, and Theo is in major Gremlin sound. He's dropping down the order of the Ferrari as he's trying to get out of the way. I think that both Ferraris at the back of the field. Theo is having a nightmare race then. I think he's damaged the car as well, as a Vintage is now dropped behind Crystal Mates. He's down to 9th position there. Texas Beast trying to come back through the field in the second Mercedes as well. Crystal Mates up 11 positions there. Magical stuff indeed there. And look at this sector 1. There's a problem in sector 1. There's the one. The McLaren's off his hail, off again, and the McLaren having issues there. As we have seen it qualified. He's got a very skittish car. Alibi is up into 11th position now. As oh my word, there we got a conga line here. And Bass is now in the 12th position then with Swanshank in 13th, Chappie in 14th position. So wow, brilliant stuff indeed. Back on board now with AlphaTauri's Swanshank, who is kept his position there. Goodness me, he's had a very poor XL turn A, hasn't he? And now he got Chappie all over the back. Cryptic Alibi has gone for the same place as where he went off in qualifying there, and he is oh goodness me, I think he's damaged the car, and that's Williams going down the inside as well. And drama after drama in this race, and then Ross G is having a 14th position there. Camera race dropped down to 15th then, as unfortunately his opening race there was a very disappointing as well. I just seen that someone asked about the tire life. Let me get him up there. Yes, medium tires there for Mings and for Jamie Enright as well. Jamie Enright is coming. He's going up the inside. Is he having a look there? He is there, but no dice at the moment. Champion has just got past Swanshanks as well. This is the battle for the lead here in the Spanish Grand Prix. Ericsson's in no man's land at the moment in third position there. But we've got soft tires for Shadows at the moment there. Echo in a fantastic third position. He's flying through the field there. Artie Wee's got a 3-second penalty in the second Haas car at the moment. On board with Enright as well. Baz is dropping down the order. Oh my word, there we got 4 cars right in. Goodness me, very much in close company, and they're on board with Ross G, who's right behind his teammate. I think that is his Chappie. It is Chappie in 11th position. Then Ross G currently in 12th. Going we've got Texas Speed who's right behind his teammate at the moment. As we just go through the. Go for a turn at 7 and 8 now as well. As oh goodness me, that is. Look at this. That is RDW that is trying to fend off, but he can't for too much longer because Crystal Mates at the inside. RDW is trying to go on the outside, but he's gone too wide there. And Texas Beach is having a look as well. So we've got Swanshanks and Camera Racer. They're just swapping positions there in the battle for 13 and 14 as well. But it's Camera Racer who has got in front, and RDW has lost 2 positions out. Has lost two positions to the Mercedes. So he's lost that twice, but he's diving on the inside, and he's back past Texas Beach there. RDW was not given that position up, was he? Readily. Back to the lead there as well as Enright is having a look there. And once again, Mings is doing a good job at defending. Is he back on board then with the man who's on pole position? We've got yellow flags and Crypto. Oh, Alibi's off the circuit. He's got off in a big way, and it's a safety car. It is a safety car. And my gosh, we've had a safety car in every single race they are, apart from the one last night, which is probably the one. RDW has got a 5-second penalty. So he's got a couple of penalties already. RDW has, unfortunately. And Roscoe's also got a penalty to his name as well. Yeah, one night last night where we had a couple of drivers who struggled with the fuel, and I think that was the first race where he's seen the changes to the regulations, changes to the engine modes there. Of course, you cannot change engine mode anymore, can you, in a race trim? It has to be on standard, and that should be on the safety car, which I think can go on lean if I'm not very much mistaken. But of course, you cannot go and lean in normal race trim then, and it really caught out 3 drivers last night. Wilson, it definitely caught out unfortunately FIFA Beef, which cost him his first Grand Prix win in his ALR career. So that was very unfortunate, was there? And of course, we also heard Bradfield struggle with the. Also, Bradfield struggling with the old fuel as well. That might be the reason why. So I was because I'm thinking about that. I'm wondering that maybe I'm speaking absolute hogwash here. As perhaps that is into the pits. Coach Joseph. Remember, he did a lot of laps on those medium tyres in qualifying. So I'm not surprised to see Joseph in the pits. Crystal Mason in the pits as well. We got a lot of pit activity. The top 3 stayed out. Echo stayed out as well, who's in 6th position there. Hard tyres going on to Joseph in car 27, and unfortunately the cars are quite are not really spaced behind him then. Oh, just I say that, then he's just emerged out in 8th position there. So the top 8 have not come in the pits. We'll talk about those in just a jiffy. Theo is just coming down the, I think it's Roscoe actually, it is Roscoe there, who's just coming down the pit straight as well. He's up in the 10th position, Roscoe is there, and out of the pits comes at one of the Williams as well. We're just in RDW there, changing the nose cone there on the Haas car. I think he's also served his 5-second penalty, so he should be able to get back in there as well. And I think that Hale will be happy with this one, because now Hale is going to be able to catch up behind at the safety car then. On board with Mings at the moment, and Mings is just currently leading the Grand Prix then. So the top 7 haven't come in the pits, and Mings hasn't come in the pits. Enright, Ayrton, Echo, Chappie, Swanshanks and Baz have all not come into the pits so far in this Grand Prix. I've just seen that Hale is feeling bad as he unfortunately had issues there with alibi. He thinks it's my fault for a safety car, and boom, the safety car there. That's unfortunate there, is there. Dylan saying, I'm surprised that none of the top runners winning. Enright saying, I love racing Kings Head. Both fakes going into the pits then. Yes, indeed that is. I thought that one of them was going to go in the pits then, but no, not at the moment then. So we're on lap 6 in the Grand Prix. Just going back to last night, the first race last night in ALR where we had the RDW is out of the Grand Prix, and oh no, and RDW then, who was leaves out a very miserable qualifying, wasn't he? He looks quick, doesn't he? But unfortunately, once again, then he's another victim of that perilous turn 9 there, and he is out of the race, and that's RDW. I think that's the 2nd retirement then of the season as well, in 2 races there for the Haas driver. Indeed, that's a safety car self then, and I'm just trying to catch up there. We got Gordo said, I've the box for mediums, then go on then went to medium soft said. Dylan said, with Will said, did 30 laps on hard tires last night. Nope, medium hards, the softs are only good for 3 laps top said. So Serious Russian was saying that the softs are only good for 3 laps, and it did show last night. I was wondering though that if it was down to the fuel issue with Bradfield, and with Bradfield perhaps, because the soft runners really dropped off. Dylan dropped off as well, didn't he? I felt with the soft tires, they weren't as quick as what I thought they might be. So, but I'm wondering then if that actually might just be the soft tires were just absolutely appalling in terms of race trim around here. But whatever the case may be, last night was definitely the first race where we had major issues there with fuel consumption. That was the first race in ALR this season on F1 2021 where we didn't have a safety car. So that is going to be a crucial part of the season, I think, coming up in some of the tracks. Maybe the likes of France said. I always say France were not going to get a safety car. We probably will, because I think I said it last season we got a couple of safety cars. I wonder if tracks like France then, who is very much a Ersey turn, I think is a fuel consumption, very much a hard fuel consumption around there as well, isn't it? Very much the amount of times then you're very much on the throttle and you're at full power. So we'll keep an eye on that in that later race. But I think the next couple of races, Monaco, Azerbaijan and Canada, I'm expecting a safety car fest. And remember in Canada where Lewis Hamilton won his first ever Grand Prix, we had 4 safety cars there. We also had 4 safety cars as Roscoe has dropped down the order as what is going on with the Ferrari car. Roscoe Roscoe's had a miserable start into his campaign in bronze this season. He was one of the top runners last season, wasn't he? But Roscoe is in major. He's got no wing at all, Roscoe, hasn't he? That is a problem for the Ferrari, and he is coming back into the pits as well. Gurman said the hards are amazing around here. I must say, I'm very looking forward to Monaco. Gordo is that. I think that you're the only one, Gordo. I'm looking forward to it, but because I'm looking forward to it because I love the action. Saves the cars in. Let's go back racing, shall we? Mings leads. Second position is Enroy. Ross G is dropping down. You want forward time to Ross G. Ross G has got some issues as well in the second Williams there, and that is a big blow indeed. Then going back to the front then, and here is the front now as they're all slipstreaming away to Echo having a look then, but he's a bit too far back going into turn one. Joseph is the highest runner on the hard tires, but it's Shatters who's got past, and Joseph is down into a position there. Texas Beach has got past Vintage as well. I moved up into 11th position there. Vintage dropped down into 12th position as well. Baz is off! He's off and he's out of the race. He's gone off in a major way at the exit of turn 3. And I'm wondering if that's usually a place there where the rear end gets light. And I wonder if he overcorrected the car and had a tank slapper into the wall there for Baz. But he is out of the Grand Prix, and it's not a safety car yet, which I'm quite surprised by. But I don't think that's in the firing line as such, is it then? So Baz is out of the race. That's 4 retirements in the Grand Prix. Roscoe was hoping for a safety car, but unfortunately that's not the case, is it then? And so now they're coming back to the front as well. 16 cars remain. Mings is in the race, and of course he took the lead after the start line, didn't he? He got past Enright, and now he is leading the Grand Prix. Now leading the Grand Prix then from the Haas car of Enright. He's quick on one lap pace as the Enright is. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to lead a lap around here just yet. Ayrton is very much in the vicinity as well. Echo is dropping back slightly. No DRS then for the first 3 laps after the safety car. Enright is just at the fast lap of the race to really put me on my place there as well. Mings there is doing a bit of weaving there. Remember, Gurman was doing that in the gold race on Sunday as well. Look at those brake discs glowing. They're fantastic, isn't it? Incredible stuff, the technology in these cars, and it's absolutely mind-blowing to say the least, isn't it? But Enright is now really starting to find his feet, isn't he? Really starting to find his racecraft as well. Remember, as we said in the front, oh gosh, we got no problem. It's Ross G. He's off the circuit. That's the Williams car at turn number 2 then, and away he goes. Ross G does that. And unfortunately he has lost the wing as well, and so that's such a shame that back on board now at the moment with Mings as he goes over the hill as well. Look at this going through turn 9. There's a look at Enright, and no DRS just yet. Enright is, but he's looking a lot more feisty, isn't he, at this time, at this stage of the race now, as Enright then is now really starting to attack Mings, and we're going to get DRS at the end of this lap then. I think at the end of the next lap actually, isn't it? Or is it this lap? I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I think Echo is off the circuit there, and Echo's got so much pace here tonight. He's on the AstroTurf but unfortunately he had a problem in qualifying, and now he's got a problem in the race as well in car 95. Lovely helmet design from Echo, by the way. Doris has now been enabled at the end of this lap then. Yellow flags as well, and the Williams says, Ross G then is completely taking out the bollards there. Echo then he needs to get himself back into the swing thing as well. Swanshanks is now I wonder if that was a bit of orchestrated manoeuvre there, as Swanshanks has let his teammate Shatters through there potentially, because Shatters is on a quicker tyre at the moment. Now he's done 6 laps younger tyres, hasn't he? His teammate Swanshanks, and that is great teamwork there from the Alpha Tauri team. Swanshanks dropping down to 7th position now, but he's all over the back of Crystal Bay. At the back of the battle at the front there is a very high drama indeed, then, isn't it? And look at them, they're pushing each other through. Fields in the pits there, as is Ross G as well then. Fields coming down the pits like, oh goodness me, and oh gosh, I'm not sure what happened there then. I'm wondering if Mings there almost slid off. Goodness gracious me then, but Jamie Enright had to take a fatal action. That's put Ayrton in the battle for the lead as well. I'm just having a look back on the stream then just to see what happened there, because I was actually looking down there. But let's just go through there, and yeah, oh my word there. I'm wondering if Mings had to overcorrect the car there. We got champion of a penalty there flashed up as well there, and that definitely would have surprised Jamie. So that was very good reactions there from the Haas car, from the Haas driver then. But now he is gaining now. He's got DRS, and Ayrton dropped slightly back below then. Ayrton that's there, but he's there to pick up the pieces there. Enright there is really going for it. He's gone for the inside there. He takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Enright leads the Spanish Grand Prix now then. And now let's see what he did. Almost and he had a lot of oversteer there out of turn number 3. That exit turn 2. And now Enright there, he has the pace in qualifying, hasn't he? But let's see what he can do in the race then as well. And he's looks like that he's visually already pulled away from Mings. I wonder if Mings is starting to struggle on his tyre. Serious Williams asked a very important question there. Who is going to blink first? So we've got Tex to speech there on the inside there, but he'll be on the outside for turn number 6. And it's a Swan Shanks there into the side of the Mercedes. But I don't think he's damaged the car just as such, which is a crucial part of this race. Shatters is flying through. Mings is off the circuit. He's gone off in the big way. And oh goodness me, he's just lost the lead. It's a safety car. And now this has really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons, hasn't it? So we've got a safety car with 1/3 race distance there. As TK has just said, don't spin out then. And I think just as he said it, Mings I think spun out and had a big smash, didn't he? Of course, TK got on the podium last night though, didn't he? And yes, potential. He made a mistake there, which may have cost him the win there. But I think that TK should be very happy with his recovery drive back in the front position, because I think it was an absolutely astonishing drive back from TK. And then as Border saying, oof, that was close. But now into the pits, there comes the top 3 as well. Shatters is staying out there. So Shatters is staying out. How as Ross got 3 second penalty there. So here into the pits, here comes the race leader. Haas is out all the way down near the bottom of the near the bottom of the pits there. And now he comes into the pits and changes onto those hard tires. The Chappie is just coming through. The McLaren is just coming through as well. Ayrton's right behind him. Now see the Haas mechanic said not as quick then. But I looked saying, where's Crystal May said where's Hale? He's in 6th position, and Hale is at 7 upset. Oh my word, what's happened here? And Joseph's got a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Tex the speed center, and unfortunately, Joseph may not be too happy about that one there, unfortunately, so that is such a shame then. And oh goodness me then. As TK said, a lot of feels about it, just jinxed it, don't worry about TK, I got to say I'm a master for that, as I think I was talking about Farf last night, and he unfortunately just went veering off to the right hand side of the screen there, so there we go. So don't worry about that then. Another victim in turn 8 there for Dylan then. Says Russian Ayrton could have a healthy lead in the championship here. Yes, indeed then. But Ayrton currently in 4th position at the moment then, so he may have a couple of bit of traffic then to contend with, but he now has a teammate behind him, TJ Hale then. Let's see how that goes then. The Ferrari drivers may be happy with this because they have been a long way behind. They've had a pretty appalling 1/3 distance in this Grand Prix. The first 11 laps in this one have been the first couple of laps in this one have been quite brutal to say the very least, for the Ferrari team, the Scuderia. Yes, now the Ferrari said it could hopefully catch up to the back then and go from there. Shatters leads the Grand Prix at the moment. Of course, he was flying on those new medium tyres then, and he has stayed out then. Joseph is on the hard tyres, I should say that. He is going a very long way. Remember last night with these strategies then, a lot of drivers may have learned what happened last night then. So we'll see how they're going to play it then, but this might be no more pit stops up to the end of the race for anyone on the hards, or maybe even the mediums as well then, because I must say I have no idea anymore. As Ayn right there saying that's very unlucky there for Bings, unfortunately. Retirements, so we've lost 5 drivers in the Grand Prix. Irvine out of the race set, as Chappie has just dropped behind Crystal Maze. Crystal Maze, I'm not sure if I was to change of position or whatnot, but it looks like that Chappie was in front of him and he took his rightful place there. Hashtag Shatters for the win there for Dylan as well. He's leading the Grand Prix at the moment there, Shatters, as I said, and he is looking very much in the box seats, isn't he? As I'm not sure what's going on here then, but I have a feeling, oh my gosh there, and what is going on here is I don't know, there's all kinds of shenanigans. And Chappie has gone right off the circuit, and I'm wondering if he was about to get a penalty for overtaking under the safety car conditions there. Whatever the case may be, he has dropped right down to 10th position now then, so that has really hurt Chappie, as he's lost 3 positions in that exchange then, and that is such a shame then for the Williams driver, isn't there? But so what a that's a big blow indeed then, as the back 2 then, Theo and Ross just almost caught up to the back then, on board then with Shadows then, who leads the Grand Prix. The top 3 have not pitted there. Vintage is off the circuit, oh no, and he's got off in turn number 8 there, and that is a big blow for Vintage there. Oh, what a shame then, and that is a big blow, and he's lost his wings as well, and hopefully, and usually I would say something about on the safety cars in the underside, and that is a double blow for Vintage there on his birthday weekend as well. That is such a shame then. Serious Russian is just asked what's going on there then, but we'll contest it after the race, and he says, and that is definitely what should happen then, but I think the Chappie will be feeling a bit hard done by there, won't he? Gosh, gosh, we're only on lap 13. I've still got 20 laps to go in this race. My word, then I'm absolutely perspirating from ear to ear. Then my forehead is absolutely saturated. Anyway, what about Shatters? And he's back racing. Then here we go. Then oh no! And he's in the wall. And Shatters is out of the Grand Prix. And oh, there's another car off. I think it's Crystal Maze off as well. He's gone the power, and he is out of the Spanish Grand Prix. Shatters' heart is going to be plunging to his boots there. And oh my word there. And oh my gosh, Shatters was in prime condition in this Grand Prix. He gone the power. He is in the wall. He is out of the Grand Prix. Damon Hill with a fair in 96 there in appalling conditions. And how is that not a safety car? Once again, obviously the final turn there is not deemed to be. Who is that? That is TJ that's got off the track there. And Swanshanks out. Oh gosh, there they're going out. They're touching, I think there. And Swanshanks is down into 8th position there. Sorry, 7th position. TJ Hill is dropping down to 8th in the McLaren there. Goodness of me then. And look at this. We got a 3-second penalty there for Swanshanks. Well, looks who's just in front of this battle here. We got Hill then as well. Look at the Ferrari centre. They're swarming all over the back of the McLaren. Ross, we're on board with Roscoe now. He's having a look then. The former Grand Prix winner. He's having a look up the inside. Has he got it? He has, you know. He has. Oh, but Hale's coming back at him now. Oh my gosh, Hale's on the grass there. How did he slow that car down? That's fantastic. And Hale now is in 9th position there. He's not giving up, is he? And Texas Beach is off as well. And Texas Beach is off as well. Just in front of us at the chicane, I think it is. He is spun around. There he is. They're coming back on the circuit. And now it's a blow. And oh my gosh, this is going. Oh gosh. Oh, that's messy. That is messy. And that is, oh gosh. And Theo and Texas Beach have come to blows. And that's a safety car. And that is. Well, that is very messy to say the least. And that's quite. Oh dear, and into the pits there comes Crystal Mason. We've got a safety car once again in this Grand Prix. Oh my golly gosh, said Shatters has just said I am stupid. Then is Dylan also saying I have just jinxed Shatters there. Crystal Mason's got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane, and that was I think that Crystal Mason's been kicking himself out because he doesn't really want that, does he? And this is an opportunity now for Vintage to get himself back into this one then. And so now we're just on board as into the pits. There comes Vintage as well, and throwing on the hard tires. Vintage is can he get to the end from there as he comes out of there, because he comes back out of the pits as well. Jamie has asked them, will mediums go to the end then? Well, last night the medium tires did go quite a long way, didn't they? For a couple of drivers, but it does one of those was because they were tire specialists, perhaps. Maybe, of course, different, but we'll find out then. Is Gurman saying maybe at a push then it might go to the end. Right, said young Tommy saying unlucky mate is Dylan hashtag jinx Shatters again then. That is such a shame then. Incredible stuff. Ducanco then, of course, the driver for COBALT, just saying that crazy moves in this race. We had a crazy race in bronze last week, didn't we? We got another one as well. I think Liam D might not have a quiet night then. Liam, yeah, may not. It's not going to have a quiet night, is it? There's too many. Into the pit side comes Joseph serving up 5-second penalty, and oh no! And we've got Echo who's queuing up behind, and the Aston Martin mechanic's going to have to do double time here as they come out of the pits now. Then Echo is now, look at this, he's queuing behind as well then, and how much time has he lost? He's used an abundant amount of time. Luckily this is under the safety car. Medium tires has gone on then. He might have lost I think he's lost a place just to Roscoe in this period of the Grand Prix. Down to 13 drivers in this race as he accelerates out there. George Mushman is saying for James Dale and hard tires, and I think that's probably the best bet. And I think that Eric and Chappie and Swanshanks will probably do the same. What about Hale? That he's done 11 laps on those hard tires, but remember what Wilson did last night. Absolutely fantastic stuff into the pits. There comes Crystal Maze as well. Crystal Maze, I remember he got through pole position 3 times in a row in his in his first 3 races, didn't he? In his bronze career. Unfortunately, he's had a bit of a difficult span his bronze career since then. He seems to struggle to get a clean race, doesn't he? Now he's a very old medium tire set. That was 6 laps on this medium tire set. As Wilson saying then, the medium tires could do 23 laps. So yes, good stuff indeed. Thank you guys for helping me out tonight, because I have even though I watched the race last night, I still don't know what's going on really. Of course, but remember, there's so many variables with these tires. Is there? It could be down to driver preference as well. It could be down to the driver's skill, of course. We have got Irvine saying, at least I'm not the only one to spin out that corner. Unlucky Shatters there. Unfortunately, Irvine was the first victim of turn number 16, I think it was. And unfortunately, we've also lost Shatters as well, who's in the Grand Prix, so he is going to be absolutely devastated. So Crystal Mace there is not got first set of boots by the looks of it, and as I think he's been in the pits quite a few times in this race so far. He's been in the pits 4 times, so is Vintage and Roscoe. 3 pit stops there for Theo, and I must say, the Ferrari mechanics there have done 7 pit stops in the first 17 laps in this race. Goodness me, I think they're going to be well trained by the end of this one, aren't they? So 1 stops for the first 5 drivers, and 3 stops for Ross G is in for 6th position then. 3, and we've also got a couple of 2 stops as well. Joseph on done a 2-stop strategy as well. Good opportunity to take a look at the penalties as well. 3-second penalties out for Chappie, Swanshanks, and Hale and Ross. We've got 5-second penalty for Joseph. I thought he would have circled in the pit lane now. And we've also got Ross with 6-second penalties. And those are the only drivers out with penalties so far. Only 13 cars remaining in this race. Ross Bronze has got very much a high attrition rate at this stage of the season, haven't they? My gosh, then. Absolutely crazy scenes out, crazy scenes here in the Spanish Grand Prix then. But after the scenes at the Bahrain Grand Prix, I'm really surprised then. My goodness me then. Of course, we had it's action-packed all the way then. And as I didn't say, the Ferrari pit crew are very good. It's really hard indeed, and they 7 pit stops in the first 70 laps. Crazy pit stop work, isn't it? We're on lap 17 out of 33. I think the safety car should be in at the end of this lap, but I haven't lost count of how many laps the safety car's been out for. We're on board the race at the moment, which is Jamie Enright, and he hasn't had a straightforward race, has he? Because of these 2 safety cars, has really thrown a curveball into the mix, hasn't it? So Enright leads that Ayrton to a very solid second position there. Once again, Ayrton having a great performance in that McLaren, is the like in Bahrain, is cool and calculated out to this. Chappie in 3rd position with Swanshanks in 4th. TJ Hale is spectacular in 5th position. I'm loving this driving style for TJ Hale. I absolutely love it. 6th position is Ross G. We've got Camera Racer in 7th position there. Theo is in 8th, and the safety car's not coming back in the pits. And this lap there. 9th position is Joseph. 10th position, it is coming back in the. It's coming in then, and that's a very late call in. So Enright. Oh no! And into the back of the McLaren goes. It's Chappie who's gone into the back of the McLaren. We're back racing then, and I think Ayrton there had to brake suddenly, didn't he? And look at this, and it's Ayrton's going for a lead. Then Chappie's got damage to his front wing. Then Ayrton cannot get alongside. They go down to as Ayrton got damage to the back of his car. Chappie's got a lot of damage on that wing, on that front nose cone. He's got no wing left at all then, and that is a blow, is it? That is the problem with a late safety car call, is it? And Chappie's amazing race there is really gone to peak tongue here, hasn't it? As Hale dropping down to 5th position then. So as Hale's done 13 laps on those hard tires. Ross G is now into a 4th position now. And Chappie, what a shame, then down into 13th position at the moment as he's dropping right to the back of the field. His teammate Ross G is now into 4th position now. Roscoe is getting overtaken now by Echo on the medium tires then. And I think those medium tires should get to the end there from Echo and for Joseph as well there. So both Aston Martin cars are looking quite strong at this stage of the race there, aren't they? So we're keeping on these 2 Aston Martins. Okay, they can really spring a surprise, can't they? And the final stage of this race as well. Roscoe's out of look there, but I think Echo is too far. We've got a safety car. What is the safety car for? Is it for the debris in the final turn then? Well, if it was that, I'm not too. Well, that was a very late safety. That was a very late call then. I think this is the first safety car in this Grand Prix now, isn't that? My word, that we had absolutely none last night, and now for some we got overkill again, haven't we? As Enright, is he coming in the pits? He's not coming in the pits then. And I don't think Ayrton was even thinking about coming in the pits then. And one track condition might be king around here. Ross G is coming in the pits, so isn't he? So Ross G is one of the drivers coming in the pits. And the Williams team might have to do double time here. Also in the pits there is Crystal Mace as well, and also going to put on a new set of boots. Well, that's understandable because he's done 7 laps on those medium compound tyres. Ross G then coming into the pits there for the Williams team now and throwing on the medium tyres, and that should get him to the end quite easily. 3-lap old tyres then for Crystal Mason. He's run out of tyres here, hasn't he? Roscoe, has he got no wing now in the Ferrari? It didn't look like he had no wing, Roscoe didn't. He's had a bit of a nightmare now, isn't he? As now then he's coming into the pits. Going on the soft tyres. Roscoe is also changing the nose cone on that Ferrari as well. Williams mechanics are now just about to get to the work then, and they're also I think they're showing a 5-second penalty as well. They say he's carrying on his jacks at the moment, and now they're going to work as well. No, it wasn't his jacks, was it? Now the Williams mechanics going to work, and he's going to be back out near the back of the field then. Back of the field there. Well, he is in the back of the field. actually, on those soft tires. I don't think those soft tires are going to last too long, are they? But we'll find out when we... serious question, who pits 4 times? Oh, wait. It's a serious question there. Who pitted 4 times last night, didn't he? But a good gosh then. But yeah, there's a lot of pit action here tonight, isn't there? So Enright leads. Ayrton's got a penalty. And is that the 5-second penalty, I think, now for the inside of the safety car? It's himself and Chappie King's boot. I don't think it was Chappie or Ayrton's fault there. Believe it or not, then usually I blame Ayrton straight from the get-go, don't I? But not on this occasion. I think it was the safety car call way too late there, wasn't it? Of course, it has happened in real water form with this, so you kind of got to be really prepared, don't you? Yeah, I think that was a needless late call there, wasn't there? Unfortunate. Bert Mylander for driver of the day there for Dylan as well. And I can't say that Bert Mylander's been driver of the day for the past couple of Grand Prix, hasn't he? He's been fantastic. Unfortunately, he wasn't driver of the day last night, which I'm sure a lot of silver drivers would have liked, wouldn't they? So we're on lap 19 out of 33. Lap 20 out of 33, so I've got 13 laps to go in this Grand Prix. I think that, I'm not sure that, maybe I'm getting a bit too excited. But Joseph and Echo are on 3-lap old medium tyres. I think are they going to be a thorn in the side of Jamie Ayrton, Swan Shanks and Hale later on in this race? And I think they're going to be honest. I really do. The medium tyres should get to the end easily from there, but we shall wait and see then, because we're on lap 20 out of 33. Hopefully this will be the last lap under the safety car before it comes back in, and away we go again. So far, no penalties then for Enright, the Grand Prix leader. No penalties then for Camera Racer or for Theo, for Echo or for Vintage or for Crystal Mason. So those drivers, hats off to those drivers out for no penalties at all. Good stuff indeed then. And so we're just... just on board as well, Scooby Stew got to Oberton and got rear wing damage, and of course that's a very good point there from Scooby Stew, as remember that you get a new damage ball. Then if you get hit quite heavily into the back of the rear wing, then remember what Knowlesy had in Bahrain in his Red Bull. He only backed into the barrier so slightly, didn't he? But he had major damage to the rear end of the car, and it was just appalling to drive. The handling was completely shot there on that Red Bull, wasn't it? So hopefully Ayrton got that issue out of it. And now safety cars in, because the Crocodiles call out 13 cars to go, and that McLaren is right off the circuit. I think that was Ayrton, wasn't it? It was Ayrton in the McLaren now. So where do we go get going then? And here we go then. So it's getting very bunched up here at the moment. You wait for a safety car in silver, and then 3 come along in bronze. And of course it's always the same, isn't it? So I think bronze, of course, had 6 safety cars last week. They have had 3 safety cars this week. They're up to 9 now. Hats off to it. That's good shit. Is he gone? I think that he's gone, and he's braked again then. Of course, I think that the drivers don't really like it when you go and then stop them, but I think Enright is I think that was okay from Enright. We're back racing once again. Enright leads. Second position is Ayrton. Enright has got a beautiful jump there on Ayrton, that's it. And now away we go once again, looking down the field at Joseph Ben. I reckon that Joseph could potentially be in for at least a podium here tonight, maybe more than we'll find out, and how long those medium tires last for. And Joseph down the inside there, and that's a good position there for Joseph Ben. Theo is running the rear wing of Camera Racer as well. Camero, who is in 6th position, and very disappointed about what happened in qualifying. Echo is also, I think, going to be in the frame in this one. And look at these battling cars. And we've got a Williams there at the inside of a Vintage, but no dice. Just had Joseph all over the back end of the McLaren. And oh gosh, there, and as a Hale going off the track and coming back on. My gosh, and oh gosh, the speed that is Hale defending on the inside there, as a Vintage has dropped down 2 positions. Crystal Mason's back into the points as well in the Mercedes. And remember, he finished 2nd last week. He's on a difficult time this week, which means as Hale goes off the track again there. And my goodness me, then. And as I've already mentioned, he's very much a rally driver, very much a motocross driver there. Good stuff. Vintage dropping down to 12th position. Vintage is really struggling on those 7-lap old hard tyres. Look in the background, Vintage is trying to repel Chappie, but Chappie's on those fresh, soft tyres now, isn't he? On board now with Joseph. The gap is now 4 seconds between Hale and Swanshanks. It's a crucial part of the Grand Prix, isn't it? Because I think if Joseph don't get past in the next couple of laps or so, I think that there's a chance for the Grand Prix win might not to happen then. And we got almost three abreast going down the back straight. And whoa, oh my gosh there. And what's happened there? And I've got to say, on a rubbish camera angle, but someone veered off there. And Hale has, I'm not sure if Hale and Joseph is a safety car again then. And oh my word. word that, as Gurman saying, that's the new line. Camera should be looking good now if he wants to get the mediums last set. Rally cross line there from Dylan as well. Joseph's got a 5-second penalty. Ayrton's got a drive through for speed under safety car. It's all gone off in this race, hasn't it? 11 laps to go in the Grand Prix. Oh my word then, and what is going on here? And that is going to really cost the World Championship leader. Ayrton is there majorly in the Grand Prix, and this might allow Crystal Maze back into it. How funny how things completely changed at the motorsport and ALR. Goodness me, I'm not sure what happened on the start finish right there. I can't really call it, but it did look, I had the graphic in the way there, so I didn't really see it as much then, but that did not look good at all. Echo is now into a very strong 5th position here, and this is looking very good indeed then for Echo now, isn't it? Of course, I don't think Echo's ever won in ALR before, has he? But he's definitely looking strong at the moment, isn't he? So as much as saying drive through, it's over there for Ayrton. Lewis G has just said what a mess then going. Yes, it was a bit of a mess there. To be honest, I don't think you should ever crash on the straight, should you? Really? But of course, I'm not. I can't say I'm a driver really, or a bona fide Formula 1 driver, am I? Or a bona fide ALR driver. It's certainly definitely not a bona fide ALR driver. Yeah, that didn't look very good then. Joseph's in the wall, and Joseph is gone into the pit lane and into the wall, and he is out of qualifying there, Joseph, and I wonder if that's frustration there from the Aston Martin driver, because he was looking strong, wasn't he? Into the pits there comes Hale then, as I gotta say, he's had a very erratic debut tonight, hasn't he? Hale has in the McLaren, but let's see what he can do then, as he has had all sorts of interesting lines, hasn't he? Enright saying I am cursed, and Gurman saying Ayrton might as well come in for fresh tyres then. Later on then, as Joseph has left the session there. Oh my goodness me, I do feel anyway, out of the pits, the bottom 5 drivers are coming to the pits on this safety car sitting there, and it's Gurman saying he'll be at the back anyway, so he may as well come in the pit set. Ayrton is very much on the back foot now. What a shame now for Ayrton. He's got a drive-through penalty that's going to put, as Gurman said, that's going to put him right to the back of the field now. Swan Shanks has got a 3-second penalty as well. 8 seconds for Ross G, 6 for Roscoe, 3 for Chappie, 3 for TJ Hale as well. As we're down the back straight, and let's see what's going on then. And Troy is saying echoes how it looks is looking good. It is indeed, isn't it? I think I'm saying qualifying. That's absolutely spectacular from Echo. I really love it. Really love that design there. I can't say that's absolutely top notch there for Echo. Brilliant stuff indeed. So Ayrton then, is he going to follow Gurman to fight, or is he going to stay out for the minute then? I think safety car will not be in the start then. This is the full safety car in this race now, if I'm not very much mistaken there. I'm losing count. I'll show you the count past 3 anyway. There's Jamie Enright then on board now with the nose cone of Jamie Enright. Is he coming into the pits as he does the Yoda dummy there? Ayrton is coming into the pits. So is the unfortunately that drive-through penalty is absolutely cost him. So he's into the pits there, and he's going to throw on a fresh set of tyres then on lap 24. Then Ayrton's done everything right tonight, hasn't he? But what a shame. And then now he's coming in the pits and throwing on these soft tyres. So those soft tyres are going to get to the end there. Remember last night, these soft tyres didn't last too long for the silver drivers, but Ayrton is definitely rolling the dice here. Crystal Maze also on the soft tyres as well. So Ayrton's out for the point set. What a shame for Ayrton, really is. So Enright leads the Grand Prix with Swan Shanks in second now. Third is Camera Racer. It's Echo who might be is going to be catching Jamie Enright's attention, I think. He's done 7 laps on those medium tyres. Crystal Maze, I think, will be also catching the attention of the race leader as well on the soft tyres. It does depend how long those soft tyres, are going to last for, aren't they? But we'll soon find out, won't we? Sirius Richardson saying that Ayrton should have pitted then the drive-through. But Ayrton has pitted now then, so we'll see what that happens. And you can't take the drive-through under the safety car. Unfortunately, always say those we don't put the drive-through. And Sirius Richardson saying, yeah, that's exactly what... exactly the best what Ayrton could do. Troy also elaborates on my point as well. So of course Troy is saying that you can't drive for penalty under the safety car. So that is a bitter blow indeed. Then of course no one taking the safety car. So Chappie and oh gosh, there, and there's another 5-second penalty then. For Chappie and Roscoe here. They're getting a bit too close for comfort under the safety car here tonight. I've got to say they're getting very snuggly. Safety cars in at the end of this lap then, and we've got 12 cars remaining out of the 20 that started. As Enright is, oh gosh, there, and Hale has got a penalty for, oh goodness me, and Ayrton's already got drive through anyway then, but yeah, that's not good at all, is there? Oh goodness me there. And now then it's Enright then, it's now just about to put the hammer down. Oh goodness me, I think he almost spun it out, didn't he? Enright. Goodness gracious me, he's just got to keep calm, Enright has it. Remember this, Enright has won 2 Grand Prix already, hasn't he? So Enright will definitely be feeling comfortable then, but I think this might be his most challenging as he comes through the final turn as well. 5-second penalty now for Orozco on Crystal Mason. It's getting a bit messy in the midfield then. We're back racing once again, and yellow flag in the final turn 3 then, as Roscoe is disappeared, and he's off the circuit. Roscoe is there, and this is oh goodness me, and yellow flag in sector 3 for Roscoe then. Echo is still in front then. Crystal Mason's dropped back slightly. I'm quite surprised with that. I thought Crystal Mason would be trying to want to be getting on it quite quickly. Ayrton is not set, has not gone for the drive-through penalty just yet. He's in 9th position. Ayrton is now. He can still get some points from here. It's not all over yet now. I'm surprised Ross G hasn't come into the pits in front of fresh set of boots as well. Echo then all over the back now of Camera Racer. Camera Racer doing a strong performance then in the in the Aston Martin. Camera Racer is right underneath the rear wing now. Swanshanks there is getting a bit squirrely, isn't it? We're on board now. Swanshanks of course, remember Swanshanks has a penalty as well, so he'll be dropping out of the podium places, but so he's going to have to try and gap the cars behind, isn't he? Crystal Mason's having a look then. Of course, Crystal Mason does not want to do anything too foolish, does he? Because this could be a potential major podium there, and Crystal Mason will, if he stays where he is at the moment, he will take the lead of the World Championship, won't he? But Crystal Mason could potentially this could get even better for Crystal Mason. He's on the soft tires, isn't he? But let's see how he does it. And look at this then, it's Camera Racer and Enright set the fast operations in the 17th, good 17th then. Swanshanks is absolutely launched off that final turn now. That is absolutely cracking 17th there for Swanshanks. Through 17th then. Echo has gone up into a 3-second penalty there for Enright then. Is that going to cost him the race win then? Hopefully it won't then, but that's not what Enright wanted, is it? Camera Racer is still in full position. Crystal Mason is right behind him now. And look at this, his Camera Racer is falling backside because Crystal Mason up the inside. Oh my goodness me, as a camera tried to slam the door shut, and Chappie, it's also gone through as well. He almost swallowed my tongue now. I need to learn to breathe without using my tongue, don't I? Do you need your tongue to breathe? I don't know. Anyway then, but Crystal Mason barging his way through, elbows out, and he has passed then. And Chappie there was very much the also opportunist there. Also got past as well then. And as we're just going over the crest there as well. Echo has not got a penalty. The 2 in front have. If Echo can get past Swanshanks, has he got the pace out to get? Has he got the pace then to get really hunt down Enright? And this is a great performance then from. This is a great performance from Echo, it really is indeed. Enright has really controlled the race in what has been a very difficult Grand Prix as in the Haas car. He is a couple of laps away from home then. He does have a 3-second penalty, but he's set now fast up the race then. Enright is going for the full shebang of points, isn't he here? Crystal Mason is right underneath the gearbox then, and Crystal Mason is fighting with Echo. And look at this then, it's their wheel to wheel then, and they're going down the back straight. And who is going to blink first? And Crystal Mason should have the grip. He has the grip, he has the line, and Chappie trying to go through as well. But Echo there is not going to let him through that easily, is he? So Chappie there is going to have to find a way through. He's going to try his party trick that he tried a couple of tried a lap or two ago then. One of the McLaren's in the pits, and I think it is Hale who's in the pits. And Ayrton now to 11th position. He's 4 seconds away from a point at the moment, and the World Championship leader. Chappie is all over the back of Echo, but Echo is not yielding, is he? Crystal Mason is all over the back of Swanshanks. Swanshanks done a cracking job to stay in second position. Now hats off to Swanshanks, really impressive indeed. Crystal Mason, just like in Bahrain, has once again really come to the forefront of the Grand Prix. At the very end of this race, Swanshanks was almost in the wall there, and a very good 17th and a good as well. Don't know who to look at. I don't look at this, and down the inside goes Chappie then. Echo breaking so much later. Fantastic stuff there for Echo. We also just seen Crystal Mace up into second position there. That is going to catch Enright's attention there. Enright's got a 3-second penalty. Let's see the pace now that Crystal Mace has got then. Dylan has asked about the penalties, and let's just take a look. Enright's got 3-second penalties. Swanshanks has got 3. Chappie's got 8 seconds of penalties. Ross has got 3. 16 seconds for Roscoe. 5 seconds for Ayrton. And Hale's got 6 seconds as well. A lot of penalties in this race here tonight. And Swanshanks there. I think he's done a great job to actually keep the fresher tyre Echo and Crystal Mace behind him for that long. Brilliant 17th. 5 laps to go in this race, if I'm not very much mistaken. Lewis G saying that the soft runs are really going to fall off, and that's what I'm thinking as well here. But we'll find out then, won't we? Of course, because I'm going to be honest, I do not want to predict any more tires. I got completely wrong last night. As we're just watching Echo then turning on the outside, and Chappie, who has got the soft tires. Oh, and Chappie there, and goodness gracious me, shaking from left to right there in the Williams car, and now going up the hill and over turn 7 and 8 as well. There's Crystal Mays. He is not gaining though on Enright, is he? So I'm not sure then. So I'm wondering then if those soft tires are starting to go off slightly then, or if it's Enright's incredible pace in this Grand Prix tonight then. Well, that remains to be seen then. Troy saying this is going to be interesting. Very much is indeed. As the back on board of Echo, I think we should be looking at Chappie, who's having a look there on the inside there. No dice there. She's got now a 3-second penalty. As Ayrton there just needs to keep this cool, doesn't he? Because the lack of penalties there might help him out later on this race. However, we've only got 4 laps to go in this race. Oh, Chappie getting Chappie on a bit of a well, it's a bit of a disastrous exit there, but I must say he's still right underneath the gearbox at the moment. And I said that Chris Mace looked like he was struggling on 2021. I am a fool there for the serious question there. We've got 2 cars going on the inside. Swanshank's going to turn 1 there. Swanshank's very gentlemanly. They're very good stuff indeed there. Swanshank said he could have closed the door there, but I think that that was very cool stuff indeed there for Swanshank. Hats off to you, my good sir. Brilliant. As we're just now going into the turn number 4 or 5, I think it's 4, isn't it? I think it is indeed. Then as we're looking at his car and all over the shoulder on it, Enright's just pulling away, hand over fist. This is a magnificent end to the race. Ross G is out of the Grand Prix, and Ross G is out of the Grand Prix, and that is going to elevate Roscoe into the points there, because currently the money is behind Ayrton in terms of time penalties. So Roscoe will get a point in a very difficult race for Ferrari, and they're 7th and 9th at the moment, and Ayrton there will also be getting 2 points as well there, but unfortunately I think he would have lost his lead by this point, and Crystal Mates 2 second places in a row there, which means it's going to take the World Championship then. So good something. 3 laps on the softs will drop then for serious pressure as well. Swanshanks, no! Swanshanks is off the circuit there. He was having a great race. Enright set another fastest of the race there, just underlining his pace there here in this race there. Now, absolutely amazing stuff indeed there for Enright. And I think that he's really shown his pace now, isn't he, at the end of this one? Good stuff indeed there for Enright. And absolutely magical stuff indeed. He's very much been creeping. And now Chappie there going on the outside down into turn 1. He passes Echo, and now Chappie in the third position. And the soft tires are looking quite stable there, but Serious Marshall reckons 3 laps, and they will be kicked to the curb there. Theo has done 5 laps on the soft tires and really giving Camera Racer calls for concern then. Theo might be sniffing a podium here then. And goodness me, would I be saying that's about 15 laps or so? Not quite. Roscoe's off the circuit, and Roscoe's oh goodness gracious me then. And Roscoe will be very disappointed with that, because he was going to get no points, which means elevates TJ Hale on his debut into the points as well. Oh goodness me, and Jamie Enright is just absolutely in a class of 1 tonight, as he was good in qualifying. Well, he's superb in qualifying. He has been superb in the race as well. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Roscoe's left the session now, and I think he's going to be a bit disgruntled with what's been going on tonight then with Roscoe, with a lot of penalties, a lot of pit stops as well from Roscoe's point of view then, unfortunately. But we're back on board now with Echo, and Echo is successful second way there from Chappie, but Chappie is not dropping down too far. Look, Crystal Mace is not too far in front. If those soft tires are going to drop off, then if they do drop off, Echo and Camera Racer could be back into the swinging things there, and going down into turn number 1 and 2 as well. Oh, Chappie once again then, goodness me, I think those tires are coming to the end of their life on Chappie's Williams there, and how did he hold that? That's fantastic stuff indeed there from Chappie. Good car control indeed there, and Echo there was just too far back at the time then, just too far back at the time, was he, for him to do anything about it. Back on board then with Echo, as he is really very much all over the back now of that Williams car. Echo is that he can see Chappie struggling on those soft tires, can he? And I think Echo will be wanting to get maybe second position as well. The gap though the gap is 2 seconds. There's the Mercedes in the foreground. Enright has just gone off into a world of his own then. He's 10 seconds in front there, and really I don't think he could always get go and push the car home at this stage then. Of course, reminiscent to Nigel Mansell in Detroit in '84. Enright set another fastest lap of the race. This is impressive times indeed for Enright, isn't it? My goodness me, that he is looking strong, isn't he, in bronze, and we have seen it we've seen it in some of the practice sessions, haven't we? And we've very much seen it at the forefront here tonight as well. Enright is absolutely flying away. Of course, I was concerned about that 3-second penalty. Well, he's not concerned about that anymore. He said that might be the only blemish on his incredible race record here tonight. Echo they're still giving Chappie some calls from concern, and Chappie, even on 8 lap soft tires, doing a cracking job up there, isn't he? I've got to say, is now up into 8th position there. Ayrton now up into 8th position and passes Swanshank then. Ayrton is so he's going to get some more points then into his bank account then. But unfortunately, he was second for most of the Grand Prix, was they? Unfortunately, that is not the. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish, doesn't it? And the most important lap on this Grand Prix on this day is lap 33. And of course, we are 1 lap away from this moment. Chappie's starting to pull away from it now, isn't it? So this is really yo-yoing around. I have no idea what the tires are going to be doing, and absolutely no idea at all. You see the flash of vintage in the background there. Another strong drive for vintage then. In the first 2 Grand Prix of the season, he has very much matched or bettered his performance of last season. It just shows how incredible vintage is this season. So hats off to him indeed. Lovely stuff, Ben. So we're on the final lap of the Spanish Grand Prix, and Echo is now has gone from attack to defence now, because he's going to be looking over his shoulder at the Alfa Romeo camera racer, and Theo is also going to be feeling like he's got something to prove on this final lap as well in the Ferrari. Chappie's got an 8-second penalty then, so he is not going to keep that 3rd position. So Echo might be thinking that the 3rd is definitely on the cards for today. It should be on the cards for today if he keeps on the straight now, with Camera 4th and Theo in 5th position. And what about Vintage there? Vintage might put a spurt on if he wants to get into 6th position as well. We'll find out about that one. Oh, Camera Racer almost to the edge of the track, and then some there. Goodness me, I thought he was going off. Look at this and how much they've concentrated up, and his Chappie is struggling on this final lap now, isn't he? Crystal Maze is almost 3 seconds down the road now. Oh no, 10 lap out at soft tires then. We're now on the final lap of the Grand Prix, and we got to say, Jamie Enright is almost home and dry in this one. Incredible stuff. But Camera Racer is having a look. I think he's too far back then. I don't think he's going to risk it now, is he? As of course, there is, he'll be up into a very solid 4th position. And Jamie Enright then is going to win the first Grand Prix. His first Grand Prix of the season, the Spanish Grand Prix. He wins the Spanish Grand Prix. That's his 3rd Grand Prix win of his career for Jamie Enright. And I got to say, that is one of the most controlled and dominant performances in ALR bronze history. Of course, there were some safety cars. It wasn't as straightforward, was it? Potentially what it could have been there for Enright, but still, that is really impressive to say the least there for Jamie Enright tonight. Fantastic stuff there, because he didn't lead a couple of laps, and apart from that, he was absolutely fantastic, wasn't he? In the end, and absolutely brilliant stuff. Crystal Maze there actually extends in the World Championship then with 2 very solid 2nd place set, and I think in the first 2 races there, it's been absolutely night and day for Crystal Maze, hasn't it? He's had a lot of difficult spells, and then and then at the end of the race there, he just flown up into 2nd position on the podium again there for Crystal Maze. Good stuff indeed that. Gordo saying what a drive, great win for Jamie, a great win for Jamie there. Very good stuff indeed then. And yes indeed, absolutely dominant performance there. As I said, that the only blemish he has got, the only blemish he got on his record then is of course where he got that 3-second penalty, literally the lap after the safety car came in, didn't it? But apart from that, then he was just absolutely dominant right from the get-go, from the start of the race to the end of the race as well. Crystal Maze gets the Driver of the Day award there. I ain't going to argue that thing, because that was a pretty good drive there from Crystal Maze as well. And Echo, what a drive into 3rd position as well, then, from 15th to 3rd position as well. So that is Enright's 3rd Grand Prix win of the season then. And of course he puts the wrongs of right in Bahrain, doesn't it? And that'll propel himself right up the championship order. I think he'll be 3rd or 4th now, if my maths is right. Of course, don't quote my maths there, because that is very much, the maths is the worst thing in my vocabulary. Maths ain't even in my vocabulary, is it? But there we go. Anyway, final classification then from the Spanish Grand Prix. I'll talk absolute nonsense. Jamie won the Grand Prix there from pole position to checkered flag. Then his 3rd Grand Prix Prix win of his career in Bronson. But I think that is probably his most impressive and dominant performance there. He's got the full host of points as well, and he is the first driver in ALR this season to win from pole position. Crystal Maze from 19th to 2nd, fantastic. Third position was Echo from 15th to 3rd, amazing. Cameron Racer in 4th, Theo in 5th, Chappie 6th, Vintage 7th, strong performance. 8th is Swanshanks, 9th Ayrton, 10th position is TJ Hale. Retirements was Roscoe, Ross G, Joseph, Text to Speech, and Shadows, Mings, Braz, RDW, Alibi, and Irvine. Unfortunately, all retired from the this epic Spanish Grand Prix. And wow, that was a pretty impressive drive to say the very least, wasn't it? From Jamie, who is joining me in the commentary box as well. Then, Jamie, I gotta say, well, that looked very interesting. That looked very easy from your point of view.
Yeah, the hard tires were still like very low percentages since there was about 5 safety cars. So, like at the end, I was just able to push on the fresh hards, and since the lads battled behind, I could just pull away easily.
I said the only blemish on your record today is that 3-second penalty, and I think the only other blemish was that you lost the lead for a couple of laps when that first or second safety card came out. Was there any difficult patches here in the Grand Prix today, or even in qualifying? Because I've got to say, you led every session, and you almost led every lap in this race, so dominant performance. Was there any difficult spells tonight?
At the start, I wasn't expecting Mings to be so quickly. And I think if he didn't DNF, I would have been well harder, because he just rapid in the race. Like, it's crazy how quick he is.
He really was.
The same with Ayrton. I got lucky when he got that drive through. Like, it was, I say he was sick and then
Yeah, that was a shame there for Ayrton, was it? But of course, we can't take nothing away from you today. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. I must say that I've been talking about it in the commentary today, though, that you've been very much hammering away at the practice sessions. You've really elevated yourself. You had a very good end of season last season, but this season you're in a completely different league at the moment now. What's changed for you?
I just started practicing more, like, and just put off a few assists and more time trial, just grinding the game basically.
You had a difficult race in Bahrain, but you've really put it to one side tonight then. Going into Monaco in a week's time then, of course, I think you're 3rd or 4th in the World Championship now, but going into Monaco in a week's time, how are you feeling for that one? It's a street circuit. It's completely different for the first 2 races.
It's going to be all in qualifying, and it's going to be very hard to overtake there, so it's going to go down to strategy a lot with it, and I just have to hope I don't crash really.
Absolutely brilliant stuff, well done. And I think that we speculating at the start of the season who's going to be a favourite and favourite for bronze. Then I think that you've really made a statement of intent that you're going for that bronze championship, aren't you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Absolutely amazing stuff, Ben. And of course, one more question. Going down to turn 1 then, was you surprised about the manoeuvre from Mings made then onto turn 1 then? Did you get a good start, or was it did you get a bit bogged down?
I got a good start, and then I just seen him come up my inside. I don't know how. I think he must be on medium traction, because he got an Esports start. Like, he just leaves like a bullet.
He did indeed those. He wasn't really trying to pull away, so I kind of just got away from Ayrton so he couldn't battle me, and then I chilled in his DRS, and then I went for the moving him, but he got me back, and then a safety car came out. Like, it really helped since I underfueled, and just for the safety car to be able to come out and me get my fuel back, like, so the car was lighter. Mega stuff, well done, Jamie. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed. Then, as I usually call you, you're all right then, but that was more than all right tonight. Fantastic, well done, Jamie. Dominant performance. I think that's the most dominant performance I've ever seen in bronze, and maybe in ALR. Fantastic stuff, well done. And of course, he is now 3rd in the World Championship, as far as I could tell. I think I've seen Echo jump in here, who had a cracking drive today as well. I didn't see Crystal Maze in here. If you're in here, Crystal Maze, give me a shout. I think that's Echo, you finished 3rd today, and I must say, you looked very quick in the qualifying session. Unfortunately, you made that mistake in qualifying 1 there. That time was enough to get through, though.
Yeah, I think I was just being too greedy. I just wanted to prove a point that, you know, that I still deserve a seat in any league, in a way, like in this league and that. And I think maybe it just got the better of me, and I just dropped out at turn 9. So it's an easy thing to do. Pretty much everyone else, pretty much half the lobby did the same thing. So
was going to say.
Save my embarrassment a little bit.
I was going to say, in the 60 drivers that have taken part in the races so far in Spain, I think at least 30 of them have been in the war. So you're in good company.
Wow.
And going on,
That's all right then.
going on to the race itself. 15th on the grid to finish a very strong third position today. You had the pace as well. You was on the medium tires. Did you think that you can get the race win today?
Um, yes and no. I think after the last safety car, which was like safety car 25,000, I thought there might have been a chance, but because those ahead of me were still on hards and I was just caught up in everything, so I was like, I think a podium will do for me today. I think that'll be not bad for a reserve driver and that. And yeah, I was on the mediums for quite a while. To be fair, I was pretty much only on the mediums the whole race, except from halfway through the stint when I was on softs for like 3 laps.
The safety cars really throw a curveball, especially in Bronson, and we've had a ridiculous amount of it in the first two races. How difficult is it to judge the strategy and things like that? Jamie was in the lead almost from start to finish, so I think his strategy was almost set in stone. But what about how difficult is it from a midfield point of view? How difficult is it to choose a strategy, to choose the tyres?
It's actually more difficult than you might think. Some people might think, oh, just stick to your strategy, just adjust it every now and then. But with the amount of safety cars that there was today, it kind of just threw everything out the window. And I think those on hards from lap 13, I think it was, they were pretty much set in stone. And then obviously there was no point in going onto the hards just in case there was another safety car. And it would kind of like not make sense, especially if people behind started to pit for the softer sets. So I was like, sometimes you just got to wing it, pretty much. And thankfully, yeah, it just worked out in the end.
Goodness me, if us wigging it, then gosh, I can't wait to see when you got your strategy. Definitely very much on point. Fantastic stuff, Echo. Well done. We have 15th to third today. Jamie, the most dominant Grand Prix in ALR history, in my opinion. I think possibly. I have got a short memory, but that was dominant. Was it Q1, Q2, Q3 domination, and almost led every single lap as well. Fantastic stuff. We are back live for one more time. It is COBALT tomorrow night. Then, of course, we had an action-packed COBALT race, didn't we, last week in Bahrain? And let's see what the COBALT drivers can do then. Are they going to be cautious in qualifying? Are they going to go straight? Go straight fully fast as that? We're going to have to find out tomorrow night. But from here in bronze, it is goodbye. Happy Tuesday.